What's going on, guys? I don't even need to make any noise. I don't even need to talk. You get what I'm bringing down right now. Guys, crazy shit has been going on in my life. It's been freaking insanely awesome. Literally, there's not a thing between the friends that I have. Everyone's open-minded, business partners, everyone amazing, incredible. Never thought stuff could be this cool in my life. This is Crypto in the Morning. I am GRC. Sam Stolt is in the green room. He's putting on his makeup right now, so we're going to have to give him, well, he's getting, makeup's still in there. I just checked up on him. So we are going to have to take a little break here, guys. We're talking about Richard Hart today for the first 30 to 40 minutes. I want Sam to pick my brain. I want to look up some stuff. I'll watch some clips, stuff like that. But let's get into it. Let's work from where he's at now for the new people, and we'll work backwards, right? I want to go from what is Richard Hart at this moment, and then like how did it all come, so that the people that don't have any clue what we're talking about can kind of see why we're talking about it now. But anyway, flex on them.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Oh, Sam.
Ooh, sorry. I didn't realize we were going live so quick like that. I was just finishing up my makeup.
Not again, bullish. Not again, bullish.
Good? We're good here?
Unreliable. Let's get back into it, guys. Sam, Crypto in the Morning, guys. What an intro. Cool intro, quick, to the point, sexy. Guys, another thing. Actually, no, I'm not going to go there because that's off topic. Sam, how are you doing right this moment?
Wow, I am doing excellent. I'm doing excellent. I switched something up in my schedule. So normally I've been going to the gym in the morning. So I'll work from 6 a.m. till 8 a.m., go to the gym, and then come home, shower, eat, and get on live. And I just decided to switch it up and go to the gym after we finish up here. And that allows me from like 5:15 when I get up to do my meditation, have a little bit of breakfast then, and work through 4 hours of getting stuff done. Wow, it feels awesome to just knock out so much stuff first thing in the morning. I am loving it. And then this morning, do you want to share with people? You don't have to share the details, but the financial freedom, like that's awesome.
I just want everyone to know something. I want everyone to understand something about financial freedom. It has really nothing to do with how much money you make. And that's the first part. It has nothing to do with how much money to make. It has exactly to do with how much money you spend. So having a business, think about this, Sam. Let's say next 5 years, me versus you. We both have $0. You decide to start a business. I decide to go down the street and hold a sign that says homeless, please give me $1. And I take all that money and I put it into crypto, and you just go on working, trying to fund your business. Who do you think is going to make out better? Probably me, because in this time and age, inflation is more profitable than business. Inflation is more time is more profitable than business. Plus, because there is no time, I don't need time. Inflation happens without me doing anything. It's working. I'm not doing nothing except holding asset. So all the assets that we have aside, I made my bills down to $600 roughly a month, depending on how I want to eat. Some weeks I want to eat steak, some weeks I want to eat chicken. And it's expensive at the, that it's expensive at the store. So yeah, I've made it so I can't.
So explain.
So I can't fail. I haven't made the money necessarily yet, but I've made it so I can't fail. I don't have kids. I don't have bills. I don't have a family.
But explain to that, because so $600 a month. So that means for anybody that's listening, his bills are, he only has to come up with $600 of income.
Let's say 600 to 800, because
so I do say $800 a month. That's all the income that he needs to generate in a month. In a month, you go work at a fucking restaurant in 2 days, and you got that. You know what I mean? Like that's not much money, but so many people are stuck.
They're lied to about how much you need. That's all. It's just they want you to be a consumer. I'm not helping anyone out right now except myself in the financial world. I'm not really creating much for other people. I'm just doing entertainment. I'm making way more money than I should be due to, the way that they have it. You know what I mean? Like the way that if I was in their system, I'd be making nothing. So I would be just broke even, right? And I was making a lot of money before. I was making a lot of money before, and I was kind of breaking even because I had no time. Now I have the time. I go to the gym. I feel happy when I wake up in the morning. I sit down with my coffee and do my work, and it feels enjoyable. And every single day you compound when you're feeling like that. It gets better and better and better because you're not letting all that negative shit stick to you all the time. Fucking negative shit sticking to you ruins your life no matter what. You can't avoid it. If it's there and it's happening in your ears constantly, it will become you. And that's what the 9-to-5 breeds. You're in traffic, you're driving, it fucking sucks.
So many people are stuck in that, like they'll buy 2 cars, each one payments $500. They'll go through and spend 3 or 4 different subscriptions from $10 to $40 a month. They'll have all this other trash that they just spend money on in their life, and they wonder why it's so challenging to get ahead financially, when in reality you can just lower those expenses, and it's almost as simple as like losing body fat, right? Like, but it seems so complex in people's minds, and they don't realize it. Like,
people don't have the emotional stability to think about these things. I remember what it was like to be emotionally unstable. There's no thinking about these things. You just can't really go there because you're worried about shit all the time. I ain't worried about fucking shit. The only thing I'm worried about is that if I go,
but you knew, right? Like, you're not like it, right?
Really. It's like, I'm not talking life or death worry. Like, I'm not worried about my life. Like, I could make it happen if I had to, doing something else, of course. Like, so that's where I'm at in life. Like, I ain't worried anymore. I could just get it because I'll start climbing towers. I'll make $35 an hour. Fucking it'll suck.
Yes.
It'll actually probably won't suck. Probably be cool for a couple weeks.
No, you would learn. You'd be like, oh man, this is super cool. Try something new. Yeah. Exercise outside.
It's all about changing everything, guys. You have to change everything, the way you look at the world. I've been robbed, lied to, stolen to, car ruined, everything in the last month. I don't even think about that shit because who cares? Like, there's so much good shit going on. Who cares? I got Sam's my friend, Bullish is my friend. Brand new friendships that are me and Sam kind of revamped our friendship, and me and Bullish are friends now. And there's guys in the community. We're all together. It's a bear market. I don't give a fuck. You guys that care so much about what your bags look like, it's like, who gives a fuck? You're waking up next to your wife anyway. No one gives a fuck about you. It's not about, I just think it's hard to explain why the ego is weird. You have to be beaten down really severely. Really severely. I've had so many nights where I was just like, fucking dude, it's over.
Last night I got a call. So it's my 5-year anniversary. So we're gonna go out to dinner.
Wow, congratulations, dude.
Thank you. So it was nice. We went out and had some sushi and stuff. But I'm about to get in the shower and my phone rings and it says Maggie and it says New York City. So that's how I saved this person on my phone. And I had no idea who it was, but I picked up, and it is a landlord of mine from 2015, and she was already like 60 something years old. Now she's like retired, and she was like, "Hey, I was going through my records because I'm actually cleaning out my house, and I saw Sam. I figured I'd give you a call." And I said, "Okay, cool, that's awesome." And I was like, "That I appreciated the call." After I got off the phone, I'm thinking about how much I've changed, right? So 2015, I was such a I thought I was cool and I was okay at the time, but the level of like peacefulness here, like the level of confidence that comes from year after year after year following through with what you say you're going to do on just the small stuff, and like getting out of the 40 hours a week for somebody else it's incredible. I appreciate it. I work way more today than I did ever for any other company, but at the same time, I wouldn't even slightly have it any other way. And work, because work is not the definition that everybody else holds, right? Because when you're speaking to people, in order to get onto the same page, you have to use the same vernacular, or at least have a understanding of how the other person defines the language that they use, right? Try to talk to somebody in German or Swahili or fucking Mandarin, right? And you're speaking in English. It's to challenge them, right? Because you don't know what the things that are coming out of their mouth means. It's the same idea in English. It's just people use language and they're not clear about it. Instead of getting clear, they just butt heads instead of asking questions to do that. And going through and getting that phone call last night really helped put things more into perspective. And I'm always looking to put things into perspective perpetually, because then it just keeps you in a good stable spot. You're calm. You're peaceful.
When I start getting out of whack, it usually comes from me thinking about dying, or like an accident happening to one person that I like or love. It's usually rarely about anything but like the fact that we can actually die. That's usually
so is that what puts it into perspective, or what does that
well,
do?
No, it starts by getting my anxiety ramped up and nervousness, and then I kind of like work through it. Like it happens often, like it happens. Like I'm like, oh, my family, everything, dogs, everyone dying. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to die too. It's really happy. Let me double down on my safety and like doing shit like that. And then just hope for the best. Right.
But that I think about that and I see that as like, oh man, it makes me like want to push harder and everything.
No, I know, but I just get scared that like I don't get scared about the pushing hard part. I don't do that anyway. This shit's dope. But I get scared that it would be over unnecessarily. Like by a dumb reason, like some 16-year-old girl like looking at her phone like just runs me over or some shit. Like something like that. That's what scares me. Or I'm walking down the wrong alley. Some dude's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna stab the shit out of this guy. Like that scares me. So I'm not scared of the pain. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
The life I
got so much to give.
Yeah. But I don't think God will let me go. I got too much to give. Right now. Maybe in the future he'll let me go. But like right now I got a lot of horsepower.
But that's I see the same thing, because I definitely, one of the questions my girlfriend asked me the other day was like, we went for a walk at the park, and she's like, when we get back from the park, because I do this regularly, she's like, why do you say thank you for going for a walk with me? She's like kind of like, duh, we've been together for fucking 5 years. Like, of course I'm gonna go for a walk with you. And I do it all the time, just because I want to put it into perspective for myself that at some future day, you may not want to go for a walk with me. You may not want to spend time with me. So I appreciate that you do want to do that today. Like, and if you don't in the future, perfectly fine. Do your own fucking thing. I can care less. But like going through and recognizing those things to put them into perspective throughout my day, so helpful for me. Extremely helpful.
Sam, so we're gonna move into a topic, right?
Cool.
We have 58 in the chat. It's a good time to take a break and just talk to the chat a little bit, and I'll start talking about and getting your mind churning about the topic. So we're talking about Richard Hart today.
Yes.
Richard Hart is my gangster, and I have total bias about Richard. I totally think he's the man. So, but Sam doesn't have bias because he's new and he doesn't really care as much as, he's just a little more detached about certain things in this world than maybe I am in certain ways. He looks at things from an outside perspective, and I'm very in the community right now. And it's just all about timing, right? We're just at different times in our journey, and he can see things from this perspective and I can see things from this perspective, but I don't want to be the only one in the room talking, right? Because if I'm the only one in the room talking, how can I double back and learn? At all. I have to observe the way that I have to trust you that you would talk to me if I was being stupid, right? Like, I need you to be like, Scott, that doesn't fucking make sense, dude. Like, I need you to, and that's like the whole friendship thing, the 5 things. Like, I trust Sam if I get off track. I was telling Cryptographics that yesterday, like, you got a lot going for you, but you don't bounce your shit off enough people. I can tell you're a solo warrior, just like Sam is. Sam's more of a solo warrior. You still ask for help, obviously, but like, and I'm like, yo, just like,
it's funny you say that, because that's literally one of the things that
that's one of your problems.
I struggle with.
Of course. And I don't. Like, I'm like, let's all be a team. Abundance is forever. Like,
No, I agree with that, but I'm also like, everybody's got their own shit to do.
You don't
like,
trust other people to work like you do.
Oh no, I just don't want to ask other people for, like, so for me, I have this emotion, like, so if you're like, hey Sam, can you pick me up from there? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem at all. And then you now feel like you should, not you necessarily, but a lot of people feel that there's an emotional debt in the terms of like, oh, I got to pick Sam up from the airport when he needs to ride, or let me give him $20 for picking me up from the airport, right? Like, it's just common courtesy.
I don't feel that way.
No?
No.
If somebody does something for you, you don't feel like,
I ain't never asked someone to do jack shit for me.
Well, that's the thing.
I put myself in social situations better than you. Like, so I'm in there talking to these random people, getting connections, personal. I'm very personal with a lot of people. Like, I get in there, and, it's just the way I am. Everyone's different. And I have a team always, because I'm always talking and connecting with like-minded people the hardest I can. You know me. I'm always looking for people to talk to and new people, the better guys, smarter guys, cooler guys to chat with, stronger guys, more. That's why we're on this show, because you're probably the most disciplined friend that I've found up until this point. And really, discipline and trust are very similar. Trust and discipline are like almost synonyms in my world, because I don't trust people that aren't organized. Like, when your thoughts aren't organized and you're not consistent, I don't really trust you at all. Like, if you're smoking, drinking, not showing up once a week, I don't even fucking look at those people. I just don't operate like that personally. Yeah, I've been a knucklehead idiot, but like, that's not who I am right now. It's just like, I'm over it. When I hear people talking about whatever that's just useless, pointless ego, I'm out. Gone. Not even going to talk about it, because it's so stupid. Those people are still stuck in the lack of mindset. But anyway, we got to talk about Richard. What do you think about Richard Hart, Sam Stolt, at this moment in time? Your impressions of him as far as you've seen in the community, etc.
I think he's a smart fellow in crypto, but I don't have the same perspective that you have relative to like the year worth of content you consumed to get to see different facets of the person that they let out, because people are very good at PRing themselves online. And if somebody's trying to put forth this facade of this is what they are, and you pay attention to what they are saying and doing and their body language and stuff, you're able to see through that, right? Like, if I'm like, oh, this is what I'm at, like, you get to see me behind what I'm actually putting forth and saying that. So it appears that what he's saying is 100% trying to be honest and straightforward in doing that. I enjoy, like, I don't really pay attention to a lot of people, but because of what I'm doing now in crypto, that's like the only person I'm really actually like consuming of their content, which for me says a lot because I don't really consume a lot of people. I read a lot of books and stuff like that, but I don't really consume people's content like that. So, I mean, I saw the thing related to his, and I've seen this before, emotional like response in, if you want to call them debates. I think that that's potentially not the best way to get message across to people. If you are trying to, if you and I are having a debate here and you ask a question, maybe that's personal or that I choose to take that is personal, instead of coming across as defensive and emotional, raising my voice and talking faster and leaning into the camera, what if I took a deep breath and approached it by taking the question and responding in a more thoughtful way? Not only will I get a better communication with you, but I'll also be able to connect with the people who are going to be watching it more so. Because if I see that happening, right? If I notice this, if Sam notices it, if this person who's brand new to fucking crypto can see that somebody's having an emotional response to a question, and this is in the previous one with Alex, right? If Alex is asking a question and Richard Hart has an emotional response to that, well, then he's losing people. Because
your critique at this moment is that, yes, guys like me, guys like all the Hexicans know Richard Hart because we've been watching his stuff for so long. We don't really care if he's been chirping. But as someone new coming in, his abrasiveness is off-putting and is a red flag.
I wouldn't say the abrasiveness because I think you could be abrasive.
Or, you know, like when he gets overextended in conversation. And he gets a little too like, because he's like defensive. But like, the thing is, we've seen so many debates with Richard that are normal and stuff and like good conversations that we just know that, you know, that's just a dude. He just needs a PR person, but he obviously doesn't want one.
The previous Hex Orca, I'm not going to even try to say his name now, but brings up an excellent point. My take is that having seen him debate for years, he often carries the energy of previous battles into the current. That's a great. That's
a good point.
That is exactly what you do, and what happens when you do that. That's what I'm describing. When you bring previous, and if you're in a fucking relationship with a girl, and you bring previous baggage into that relationship, is that good for that relationship? No, of course it's not. And that's what's happening when you try to get a message across by bringing previous energy into the current environment where you're speaking to people. Like, it detracts from the message that you're getting across to everybody, period. Like, and I've also seen other times.
He might just say to that, like, if he was sitting right in between us and we said that, he might just say, dude, at this point, I don't give a fuck. He might say that. Like, he might just be on that I don't give a fuck, like, kind of like my energy's elsewhere. And that might be fair for him to say, like
100%.
And
we don't have context. Yeah,
so we 100%. Have to understand that, Richard. Everyone, like, some people don't give a like, just like me. There was a while when I found crypto and started doing this, I gave up my fitness for 2 weeks. It's not because I didn't know what fitness was all about. It was because I was addicted. I was like, fuck, man, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. And it's not that I didn't know what the right way to act was. I could have just gone to the gym in the morning, of course, and gone out with my day. But I was carrying some emotion and some energy, like, and it was changing me. So he would probably just say, like, I kind of know that, you know, but like it's
no, I based on
Richard,
the very little bit
that you probably understand these concepts is kind of what we're saying. But as a new person, just know it can be hard.
If what I have seen so far of what he has said in the several pieces that I've watched or listened to, I would say that if I said that to him or somebody else said that to him, he'd be like, yep, you're 100% right. Completely agree with that detracting or taking away from the message to a subset of the population. 100% agree that something I can do better on. That is also what I've noticed. So on the one hand, you get to see that there is the emotional response, that like defensiveness, that energy from the past is coming forward as crypto. I don't even know how to say this. I'm just gonna call him Orca was saying, right? But at the same time, I believe that this is the other side of my perception of him, is that if somebody did bring that to light, he'd be like, okay, yeah, you're right, man.
Oh
I
no,
agree.
people bring it to his attention all the time, constant. I mean, I know he's got friends, I'm sure, that constantly bring that up, and he probably just looks at him like, dude, I just don't even like. What are we gonna do? Like, get a PR guy. He's probably like another
But
person, because like think about that too. That's another person he has to enter into his bubble. Another person that's going to be up in his shit, which he probably doesn't like. That's why he is kind of decentralized in a way, if you know what I mean, like physically as well. Like it's so there's so many factors. I don't want to go in. I want to stop on that for a second, and I want to go into the pulse chain, the hex, his kind of because in the beginning he was. Oh wait, I want to pull that up and watch this real quick so we have some context. Oh, hold on, Bradley Lincoln.
What's up, Brad?
Thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. I appreciate you so much. We'll be bringing you the best content. When Pulse Train drops, I am going to be here every single day with the fastest updates. Or not the fastest updates, but like every single day bringing you the stuff, trying to make sure no one's getting scammed. Every single day I'm going to be trying to make sure as many people as watching my show in the morning, I'll just do it. Like, you know, I was asking people, how do we help not get people scammed? I'll just become the most popular person and say that'll be one thing I preach constantly. So I'll just do it myself is what I always say, you know, not without partners and stuff, but like that message I'll spread, you know, that'll be my message to spread. I don't need anyone else to help me spread a message. So guys, while we're transitioning, bridging everything over, Telegram chats, everything, I have scammers that are ruining my life every fucking day now. As far as like copying my Instagram, copying my Twitter, scamming all my family and friends. It's absolutely horrible. And I'll just be the test dummy, I guess, and I'll just tell everyone how it kind of works and how it goes. And it's not fun at all. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing enjoyable about getting scammed. There's nothing enjoyable about getting your family members scammed without you doing anything. It's crazy. So I'm gonna make that part of my shit. I want to. This is a clip of Richard Hart from The Highest of Stakes, his new upcoming. And this is kind of him explaining a little bit of his childhood, I think, and like kind of how he was raised. So this way we can kind of meet in the middle with some concepts.
Born broke family, you know. My dad, he fixed air conditioners and delivered newspapers. And then when I was young, I was with him in diapers, delivered newspapers with him. And I was so small that they could just put me on the dashboard of the van that they would deliver the papers from. When I got older, we did more air conditioning stuff. And in Florida, that's a really hard job because it's very hot. And when they call you, you're going someplace where the AC is broken. That's why you're being called there. So you're working in places where the AC is broken. You're climbing up into the attic where it's full of fiberglass. There's nails sticking through the roof. If you sit up too high, you get a nail in the back. And you've only got one light. And if it gets unplugged, you can't see anything, and no one can hear you when you scream for help because that fiberglass insulation absorbs all the sound. So I have some of those same traits that my dad has, and that I'm super social. I love talking to people. You know, I walk around the street, I want to say hi to people that I don't know and meet them and just be with people. That's my thing. But I got the one thing that I got that my dad, I guess, didn't get so much was this ability to restrict that desire and attach it to value. So now when I go out, I'm saying, like, where's the synergy? What are the right people to be talking about? Where's the right place to be talking about? What's the right thing to be focusing on? And it's weird because now I'm almost absent-minded because I'm so far focused on the future that I let balls drop around me. Like, people are like, oh, you don't know how to get there? I'm like, nope, and I never will, because I don't need to know that once. I need to hire developers because that pays for the rest of time. Like, the things that we build will continue to work while we're asleep, that will continue to affect this world for decades in the future. And the more I focus on that, I'm okay with not getting directions right or missaying some things or not knowing anything about trivia, anything about sports. You're going to choose what you want to be good at. And you know, in this world of very, very complex ideas, you need to drill down as far down one of these paths as you can and become excellent at it, because then you get outstanding rewards. You get a gold medal, everybody remembers you. You get a bronze, nobody remembers you. We're disproportionately rewarding to those that are the pinnacle of their field. And so the things that I'm designing, they're designed to be the pinnacle of their field.
Bob,
What's
E.G.
up?
Maximus Dow Legai. Thank you so much for the 555 super chat. I really appreciate Bob so much. he helps with me with the Telegram. He started the Telegram without even. I didn't even start the Telegram. Bob did. So Bob, again, I love the Telegram now. It's been such a fun experience having like just people to talk to during the day in there. And as I go through my fitness journey, I will be displaying a lot of it in the pictures and stuff, more so in the Telegram. Just because I don't want, you don't want to post all your shit all over the internet all the time. Hex Squid,
Unless you're
369. Wonder what that means.
So weird.
Such a weird number. Hex Squid for the 369. Euros, pounds.
Yeah, euros.
Euros 5555. That must be a secret code for something. Oh wait, he must be a Hexican because 5555 is the max length for a steak. If you're new in here and you don't know, 5555, that's 15 years flat. That's the max length for a steak in the hex system. So that's a number that the Hexicans use a lot. I'm going to be trying to, when somebody brings up a new concept, I'm going to be trying to constantly like reiterate a little bit. Not when you're going. When you're going, just go. But like when chats come up, when it's my turn to talk, because
But if there's a question, if I'm saying something and it's not clear, or you think that it can be said in more.
Well, it's not that. It's not that. Nothing you say is clear to people that have no idea what you're saying. So I'm just going to reiterate some points. That's what I'm saying. Like 90% of the people know exactly what you're saying. But like the 10% of people don't. And I'm just going to be like, break down one of the concepts, kind of get them to wrap their mind around it so we can move forward a little bit more gracefully. Because I know that's me usually in other people's conversations. I'm like, fuck, I missed that. Now I'm stuck behind.
But that's gonna be helpful. So what did you think what are your first takes of that video?
Man, he reminds me of myself. Like,
In which way?
My family the same way, just busting ass work, making a decent amount of money. I don't know how much money they were making from that at the moment, whether it was profitable in Florida or not to be doing that. But I watched my dad bust ass, dude. I was like, I did not want to work as hard as my dad my whole life. I remember my dad was always like, he's a work hard kind of guy. Like he likes to measure his peoples by who works hard, right? Like he likes people that work hard. And kind of like we are, we kind of those people too. Just he's doing what he loves. I wasn't doing what I loved. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Exactly. Like if he was doing what I'm doing, he would be stuck. He'd be like, I don't know what to do this. I don't like this. But I'm doing it. So yeah.
The AC thing, where he's talking about so I live in Florida and this is a duplex and I had to run wiring and do some type of double ductwork in the middle of the summer in this house. And what he's saying is not even a slight exaggeration, where you have the shingles, right? You might have some tar paper, then you got plywood, and then that has nails through that. So when I'm in the attic and I'm doing work up there and you stand up a little bit too much or twist, love this comment, when you twist one way, you do get a nail in your shoulder or your back or something as you're going through to do it. And if it is 95 degrees outside,
and he's 6'4", by the way.
Yeah,
so he's not like 5. I'm 5'8". Like I wouldn't have. I've been in attics all my life, and I ain't never have an issue. But I'm short. Like big guys, it's another game.
But it's also 100.
And freaking run a little. I could run around like a little mouse, but like I know big guys because you move your head up 2 inches, you're getting a nail in your skull. Everyone's had it happen to them. I mean,
and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So what does that say about him for you? The fact that he experienced that in his life, and if you are going to believe that. This was him yesterday, I think.
So this is I think I saw this somewhere, and I was
this was all over Twitter yesterday. He posted this yesterday, I believe. I think, or is this an old clip? Because now that I think about it, he looks a little younger, but I don't know, maybe. But he's always been deadlifting and doing pull-ups and he just deadlifts, does pull-ups, and does bench. I think that's all he does for working out.
So I think that would be very cool. So one of the things that we had talked about it before we got on. And I had shared a picture of eating raw liver on Twitter, and there was a tremendous amount of people who decided to interact with it, which is awesome, right? Well, one of the things how I see about sharing other things besides crypto related is all the other little pieces that build on top of that. But one of the things that I wrote down from that video was thinking in the longer term, in the sense that like some of the minute details today are just very, very trivial. And when I do, even though I had the critique of what I noticed specifically around defensiveness, the reason that I do pay attention to his streams and I'm not watching anybody else's type of content out there is due to that I'm like, oh, this person's saying something that's interesting, that has more information in this area than I do. This seems very intelligent. Let me try to see what I can take to learn for myself about how they think about the world or how they do things. So that's interesting. Oh, look at that. That looks kind of interesting.
Oh, that's what Richard's been streaming from?
Is that what? No, I think that's his bike for his recumbent bike for fucking.
Oh, does he bike and like
do
work over there separately? Like probably talk to his peoples right there.
Or maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a brand new setup.
Hey, RH, I want you to know something. I weigh 170 pounds. I could probably deadlift the same amount you just did for the same amount of reps. I weigh 161 pounds, but that's pretty cool, man. It's good to see you. I mean, powerful. You have a good deadlift too. I mean, I don't like the deadlift at all because my form is trash, and I don't really recommend deadlifting to the average Joe, to be honest, ever. It's just really counterproductive for most people. As far as it takes years to be a good deadlifter. Going down that road, in my opinion, counterproductive.
Are you looking forward to that video coming out or that movie coming out or streaming or whatever it is, Netflix thing?
No, because I think it's going to be amazing. I think people are going to love it, but I think it's more for other people. Like I don't need convincing anymore. I've done seen all the cool videos, the Ferraris, everything. There's 10,000x.
It's not really going to be new information to like learn stuff. It's just going to be more.
Well, yeah, there's just be cool shit on it, but I don't watch TV or movies, so I watch this on my computer, but like I don't look forward to things like that because it's more about the fact that it's going on and the impact that it would have for me, rather than potentially like my enjoyment from it. But I'd love to do a stream where we kind of watch it and break it down certain parts. Because remember, we can break down videos on here too. Especially
that would be good.
We won't get a copyright strike.
Yes, and that was another. I think that actually might be a good thing to potentially do after a stream. I did that with my 15 takeaways on my channel after the last live stream, and there was a lot of good feedback on that I received. So I think that would be, in terms of the watch time, was way higher than other videos. Like people were like, "Oh wow, that's interesting." Different takes on the video or takeaways, because those hours, if the stream's going for 2 or 3 hours long, I mean, people are like, oh cool, this is awesome, but they're not going to watch it, or they're doing other things. So like diligently like watching and I'm there taking notes so that I can utilize those and share with people, like almost thinking of like
real quick, Par Hexcellence with the $20 super chat. Thanks GRC and Sam for all the content. Mad respect for all your efforts. Hey, dude, there's nothing I can't speak for Sam, but there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now in this actual moment, right this second. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be here.
No, but I'm saying, like, isn't that crazy to say? Like, there's nothing I would rather be doing at this moment.
No, what's crazy is
no island,
retiring.
Surf trip.
You're effectively retired.
Yes, 100%.
Because what is retirement? Ask people what retirement is. Retirement, the first thought is like,
I don't work for nobody. I don't work for nobody.
And that's what you're doing, and you get to do what you want to do, and you just create more and more freedom as you continue to develop your skills and yourself and your network, and you continue to grow. You just get to create more of the freedom that you want, which is retirement, right? People are like, retirement is freedom to be able to like do whatever they want to do, but you can create that today, and people don't realize that it's not a 40-year journey, only if you want it to be a 40-year journey. That's why it's in my Twitter handle. Because I feel like I'm living that life already. Like I get
real
to
quick,
do
this is the guy that I totally agree with you on all that stuff.
Alex, this is Alex, I think.
This is Alex. He was in the interview. For people that haven't watched, he's been covering crypto for a decade, and maybe not covering for a decade, but that sounds like he's been in the game balls deep for a decade now. And here was a clip about his fitness, actually, because he was responding to RH actually on his fitness clip. And, of course, GRC got in the mix because he's the spam master. Let's play this real quick.
All right, Richard Hart, you inspire me, bro. You inspired me in our interview. You said it yourself. It's the one metric, diet and exercise, that they are beating you at. They use it against you in all the interviews. So you inspired me to go harder myself. Got the squat rack in the background. I'm about to bust out a couple of sets. Let's do it together. Let's hold each other accountable. And look, I'm working right here as well. So you can multitask, man, and we can do it together. I'm gonna hold you accountable. Send me a post or a picture or something of you getting after it so we can all grow together.
Other than this dude totally trying to get clout from the community constantly for the last 4 days, I like that message a lot. You know, like I love the message that it's true. That's the only place they're going to get you dorks, because every time I look at a fat person, unfortunately, as someone who's extremely fit, well, I would say I'm fit. Maybe not as internally fit as outward fit, but still fit, I guess. It's just a natural sign of like I don't know, because he's so busy and like alpha male-y that it kind of doesn't give a matter to him. But for the most people, when I meet them, to be honest, like I'm like, dude, I have other ways of thinking than you. I don't want to think with you. I want to, you know, like it makes me not want to like. It's something about that. Maybe it's like my bodybuilder esque. It's like, how could you not focus on that? To me, it doesn't make sense. So I don't think we'll relate at all.
In terms of not focusing on fitness?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand that it's not a priority for other people, but I also understand that not everybody, like, I segment my life into 4 buckets, and those are the only ones that I give a shit about, right? And I've done that for a long time, and not everybody does that. You see plenty of people that are physically fit who don't have any money, or their relationships suck, right? Or their mental health sucks. But you also see people who are extremely peaceful mentally. They're very, very spiritual or whatever, mentally in a good spot, and they don't have any fucking money. They don't, like, their relationships might be okay, but they also might not have any relationships because they don't have any money to do anything with anybody, right? Then you see other people who are uber successful financially and their health sucks and they don't have any fucking like intimate relationships.
I just don't buy that people are as happy when their health sucks. I just don't buy it. People can say whatever they want and do. If I had freaking fat all over my body, I would be like slow. I would be like, dude, I could run away from anyone at any time and beat ass and get ready. Like literally at any time. I mean, obviously people can beat my ass and shit, but like I'm ready to run. Like you got to protect someone. Now, Richard's not the most unathletic dude, so I'm not really talking about him. I'm talking about in general, you guys that aren't, he's clearly deadlifting and doing stuff like that. That's way more than most people do. Let's be real. So, and he's busy. Like, I don't even want to talk about RH in the same light because I've never met someone, I'm not as successful as RH, so I can't really comment on his workload. You know what I mean?
But do you, I mean, like, I don't care, like, what I'm doing. Fitness is always going to be what I do. Like,
it's just so easy.
I mean, I'm not in the same.
Is it an emotional thing that people eat?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, because I don't eat emotionally. I never really have attached too much to food like that, but I see other people do. Maybe that's just their outlet, you know? Like maybe that's his only outlet. I smoke weed excuse me, but I unnecessarily smoke weed too often. And I'm willing to admit that, obviously. And I'm willing to admit that that's something that I would like to change moving forward. I'm not just going to be like, that's just how I feel though. Some people think weed's all like totally fucking legit and like, fuck yeah. Can you
bring up
pleb? So it's like, don't want to be
bring up crypto curriculo's comment there.
I'm gonna get you to say that name right because you're gonna have to say it.
I know.
Curricula.
Curricula. Crypto curricula.
Your name, Orca. Is that what is crypto curricula mean? All right. For me, eating healthy has been challenging, and it boils down to self accountability. Eating too much and eating poor nutrient dense food is my kryptonite. Used to be relentless, Jim Jet, especially if you're single.
I have something for this. This is
I'm gonna pull you up for 1 second. I gotta go open my door. It's getting way too hot in here.
Okay, so I have something for that because there's a lot of people who struggle with that from the fitness standpoint and taking that idea that you just mentioned that it is a struggle to eat healthy. Now, what if, right? What do we do? What do we know about people who struggle, right? If you have a giant obstacle mentally in your mind about eating healthy, what do people tend to do on average? Well, they don't go head on into that struggle, and they don't get past that struggle, and they try to go around it or skirt around it or make other excuses or say they're busy or this, that, and the other thing, right? But what if you just reframed it so that it wasn't a struggle anymore, and it was actually a fun process? And you're like, this guy's a fucking whack job, right? Listen, right? Literally what I did for my life and lots of friends throughout the years. Instead of thinking about it as a struggle, look at one specific thing. You're like, in your life, there's one meal, there's one food, there's one thing that is an issue that is the first step. Don't worry about everything else, but there's one thing that can be a step. With that one thing, say it is whatever food you might be eating for lunch or something, or a drink, a soda or something, whatever that is. Now, think about that you're like eating this because you enjoy it, right? And you have a perception that like eating healthy is not going to be as enjoyable as this because you got to cut out the thing that you like, right? And you're just thinking about cutting out the thing you like instead of actually eating healthy. So now, if you think about soda, right? What is something that you enjoy more than soda? What is something that you enjoy more than soda? Or maybe it is, I was talking to somebody the other day who was eating cereal, right? They're eating Cheerios, and he's eating Cheerios in the morning. And I was like, okay, cool. You like eating just trash for breakfast. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, I used to eat trash for breakfast too. Now, what is something that you would enjoy more than cereal?
French toast.
Perfect. Or maybe bacon, or like some salmon.
For me,
salmon,
eggs and steak.
Perfect. Great. Get some really, really good quality steak and have the steak instead of the cereal. And continue to do this optimization through every single thing that you eat throughout the day. And maybe you don't want to do steak, but I guarantee that there's other things that you can change out in your life. There we go. There we go. Just going to eat some raw meat there.
After this, I'm going to put olive oil, salt, and pepper on it, and then I'm going to grill them all up. And this is what I'll eat for the next 3 days, guys. I paid $33 for this here. It's 7 steaks here. There's 7 steaks here. I can't remember. One per meal is like 50 grams of protein. So or like on average. So this will last me 3 days. It's $10 a day for protein. And then I'll just do rice. And then I have some canned beans in there. And
Did you get fruit?
Not yet. Not yet. But I've been sticking to, well, I need some carbs, so I've just been eating rice, and white bread. But guys, making food is not expensive. You've been lied to. Whoops. Another lie, Sam. Who would have thought, right?
Of course. But we also manufacture these lies in ourselves. Like, it's when we think of a lie, we think of like almost intrinsically we're just like, oh, that's a lie from somebody else. But
Sam, you have no idea how fucking crazy this episode's about to get.
Because we have somebody awesome that is about to come on. You guys.
Dude, I don't even know this dude, but like, I like this dude. I was talking to him last night. My producer, my boy Bullish, was talking this dude up. Like, he said, this guy's the man. I like this guy. He's real smart. He's been around for a while, kind of a new Mexican, I think. I got to get his story. So we're going to kind of go top to bottom. But Sam, I'm not leaving this RH topic, guys. This has to be, we had another 30 minutes of RH talk. Because, dude, we got to talk about RH a little bit as far as the projects and stuff and like how he came to the projects. But guys, RH, if you haven't already known, like, I'm a big RH fan. So if you're watching this and you're not really getting the information you want, just go to follow RH on everything. I think that's valuable, in my opinion. It's not everyone's opinion. I think it could be the most valuable button you ever clicked.
Oh,
hold on.
What's up?
What up,
Can you hear me?
Boulevard?
What's up, dude?
Bro,
How you doing, broski?
your beard is awesome, man. Dude,
Yeah, I'm
that's
trying to.
dope.
Very high tea of you. Very high tea of you to keep a
Yeah,
beard
man.
like that.
The crazy part is like the longer I've grown it, I feel like the more in tune with blockchain I've been getting, bro. So maybe it's like the wisdom's here, bro. Something like that.
Can you tell me why you're on this show right now? Because to be honest, we didn't talk that much personally, but Bullish, who I really was like one of my best friends, was just like, you got to have this guy on your show. And I was like, I guess I'll get to know him tomorrow a little more. And we talked a little bit, but tell us a little bit about just generally your story. How'd you get to this point where you're on a Hex show?
Yeah, I mean, I started in crypto. It's funny because it was one of those like I half missed the boat things, right? I read the white paper. My daughter was born 2011, so it was before 2011. It's probably like 2010, 2009,
That's
2009.
so dope, dude.
I read the Bitcoin white paper,
That is insane.
but I was a drunk degenerate with a bottle of wine in my hand, right? But that day, I told the person who was like, there was like 3 people in the room in my apartment, right? I said, this shit's gonna change the fucking world, right? I'm good with, or I have to censor myself because YouTube.
I haven't learned how to do it yet, so you're
All right. So I said that, I like screamed it, like I was passionate about it, right? And the buddy that heard me was getting paid in crypto a couple years later on something. He's like, this is what Dan was talking about. And he ended up minting himself an XRP millionaire, just off of what I had told him. And so when he was telling me this, I was like, all right, that's good. And then one day I look at my phone and Bitcoin's $1,000. I'm like, that's how it's gonna change the world. So I took all my money and I put it in a Bitcoin ATM, and here I am, bro. You know, I started jumping into the DeFi rabbit hole.
You're a speaker. Why do you speak very well? Do you have a? Are you a social person in general, or do you talk to people for a living?
I've become more of a social person. Maybe about like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Telegram got really nuts with the whole GameStop thing that was going on. At the time, I was trading crypto and stocks and equities, and I was constantly just looking at markets. So I ended up like the Wall Street Bets like chats, and then from there I found the crypto chats, and I just started living on there. You know, just all them degenerate people just like me, just coming in and out, talking about the market, talking about what's happening, like-minded individuals. You know, and we ended up just vibing and finding plays, man. We were just finding anything as it hit the market. You could write anything, any ticker that was dropped in that chat down, it was 10x within a week. That run was crazy. You could, and I was literally I had like 120 positions open, charting like 4 hours a day, going nuts, and eventually, like, because of all the movements, I started like digging deeper and seeing like what the bigger moves were that were causing these moves. Because I noticed a lot of them were all moving at once, and I was like, if they're all moving at once, I can technically expose myself to just a handful of these instead of like 120 of them, and get the same benefit. At the same time, try to pay attention to what's decorrelating from the market, and really just pay attention to those, because at some point they're going to do something that is the opposite of what the market's doing, or at least it's going to do its own thing, right? You try to find those what they call unicorns, right? Just what Hex is, right? So before Hex, man, I followed Richard for years. Like I said, I jumped into the DeFi rabbit hole. Tell me
the first moment where you think you could remember like hearing of Richard of some sort.
Man, he was still a Bitcoin maxi.
That's so cool.
Yeah, dude. So
I can't imagine. I don't really watch his videos from too far back anymore, but I can't imagine him just being all. And then he had to change his stance. Good on him for being so open-minded, man.
Well, I mean, you have to be. In my opinion, we're in the age of scalar money. Right? Scalar money, it's gonna move.
What do you mean by scalar money?
What is that term?
It's all right. So scalar is a mathematical concept, man. It's infinite in nature. It's fractal in nature, and it's really, if you talk to like an AI, like an automation specialist, or somebody in that realm, that they'll really talk. Like even blockchain, like when you talk about like blockchain, like encryption, all that stuff, the scalar multiplications are interesting, because they not only govern a lot of these mechanisms, they govern a lot of the things that like are responsible for us growing fingers.
Are you saying govern?
Yeah, these things that rule, like it's
Okay,
the,
okay.
it's,
So I
the
just wanted
ruling,
to-
it's the ruling formula for life, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're in the age of scalar money, and that means that like it's if I had to make like an analogy or a comparison, it would be like 5D money. You know, it's like it's an extra dimension, and it's constantly adapting and constantly changing. And you have to pay attention to the facets that move these markets and what makes them move, and then where those things are going. You know, so for a while I was just watching blockchain activity and seeing, you know, all right, this did 15% in price, that went down, okay, what's going on here? I check the blockchain. Oh, BNB is passing into Huobi exchange through Raven, because you saw like the inverse relationships, right? You saw BNB dump into Raven, and then Raven would dump into Huobi token, and you would see these weird movements, and they were huge, massive amounts of volume.
How can you explain that to me? How do you see that? Like, what do you?
Oh man, it was a good tool for that. Crypto Bubbles was amazing for
And
that.
so this is just showing the flow of something coming into another chain.
Well, you could see it, right? You can't like you could track it on the blockchain if you were really like, you know. Sometimes I would deep dive and go into wallets and try to like, you know, put it on the balance beam and figure out what it's doing. But a lot of this stuff, you just like, it was kind of more intuitive than anything else. Like you just like these inverse relationships were undeniable on the chart, so it was just all right. It had to be related. And then when you traced as to where it was, what it was doing, like you trace the inverse relationships, you see where the money's moving, and then you try to find the geopolitical reason for that happening, right? So for example, that's why I love Richard Hart, because he took a shit on Peter Schiff, right? I can't stand that guy. So
Peter Schiff's an absolute joke.
yeah, and the thing is like there have been times where he has been tweeting and fudding Bitcoin, but all of a sudden, gold has an inverse relationship with BNB and Bitcoin, and it's obvious as hell because you see the movements. They're like literally like this.
Disgusting. These guys, Sam, they're disgusting.
Yeah, it's manipulative. But the thing is, I feel like, you know, if you're able to put your Rain Man hat on and really like look at it all and try to take all of it in.
Mom, this is why I'm crazy talking all the time. I have to be crazy talking all the time, or I won't be able to see, because in this industry, people be crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, when are you going to get some stability? I said, so you have any idea what your fiat money market account is doing to you? It's stability? You've been diluted 40% year to date. Like, what are you talking about?
I got robbed, and they're saying,
sure, right? Yeah. All right, but all right. When oil's 1,200, just blame Biden. Like, what? Like, come on, man.
It's disgusting. People don't do research anymore.
So can you break that down, right? So you're seeing something move in one direction, and you're then seeing something else taking place, or you're seeing that if this BNB is now going to be there's another pair on something that allows it to go into another, you know, being into a wrapped chain of some sort that is affecting the price, or what is it that you're exactly saying when you're saying
you can observe those things too. I mean, that's what makes like the blockchain like an extra layer of difficulty now, like trying to understand how these liquidity pairs interact with each other on different networks, right? Because it all really comes down to liquidity, and that was the rule of the day even before blockchain, right? You ever watch The Big Short? They were throwing around. I mean, you probably had liquidity drop like 15,000 times in that movie. So you know, it's the most important thing, right?
Can you talk about liquidity then? So say something is traded on, you know, some centralized exchanges or whatever, and then when it gets added,
you're rugging, bro.
Sam, hold on.
You're rugging. Oh.
No, he's cool. He'll be back. He's the rug master. He always rugs. No, I'm kidding. His internet is. I mean, it sucks that some people get wrecked just because of where they live in their internet. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, people. There's probably ways to get around it. I'm sure, like
Starlink. but then you got Elon like just looking at your butt 24/7.
So tell me, as far as How you doing?
Question.
You back?
He's
Yeah.
back. Let's go.
Yes, we good? Okay.
Perfect.
So when you see a pair pop up of, say, ABC coin, and it comes up as a new liquidity pair somewhere, whether it's on a centralized or decentralized exchange, how does that affect the price based on your experience of seeing?
Well, I mean, there's always a number of things, but generally, it's like the same thing when you're dealing with stocks or equities, right? You're looking at float. How much of the circulating supply is in the open market versus how much of the circulating supply is either locked or held by top holders, right? And when you have a little bit of float, that means there's only so much coin out in the open market. So if there's a massive amount of demand for that, price will spike. But then you have to understand where the greed levels are for those holders that are holding that coin, waiting to dump on liquidity. Waiting to dump on all these buyers and sellers. That's what liquidity is. It's just buyers and sellers, right? We all kind of know.
So you'll see people create liquidity just so that if there's a demand, if there's a sense, like a sentiment that increased. What's up, Molly? If you see a increase in the sentiment for like the energy around something, right? Like there's a good amount of pent up demand for something. So then you see liquidity tends to increase for that, for somebody.
Yeah, you'll get, so for example, if there's this is what market makers do, right? They look at all these pairs, and if there's a lot of demand on one of those pairs, or a lot of demand on one exchange, they'll take the coin that they have, the circulating supply that they have wherever they get it from. Like a lot of the time, like if you're a project and you spun up a token, you usually have some part of the circulating supply allocated to just getting it to the market makers and just selling coin as people need it, right? So when some of these pairs on centralized exchanges like get in demand, all of a sudden you're going to get a price discrepancy between that exchange and the rest of the market assets and all of its pairs, right? So that needs to be balanced. So what'll happen is they'll take a surplus coin from other pairs and they'll sell it to that pair that's in high demand to stabilize the price. And usually what that does is that brings up the price of the other pairs and kind of stabilizes the one that kind of just took off. But you try not to let it take off too much. That's why these automatic market makers are good, because they're right on top of it. As soon as that slippage happens, they're already diluting it to make sure that the price is good across the board. And a lot of
you're talking, is it kind of like the way you're describing it? It sounds similar to, say, a ripple effect, because everything is linked in some type of pair in this giant blanket of liquidity. And if there's something trying to puncture through that blanket and pop up in one area, the price is really going up here, right? That pair is linked with these pairs, which is linked to these pairs, and then there's that ripple effect, and that's why you were doing 120 different positions at that one point you mentioned.
Yeah, right. So I mean, if you're not dealing with centralized exchanges at all, and you're dealing with a couple of pairs on dexes, that's what MEVs do. They look for that slippage, they extract the value, but they don't necessarily have to bring it back to the other pairs. But if you have a market maker that's doing that, you're at least keeping it home, right? So some of these MEVs will just come in and do some funky stuff and then walk away with that money because the slippage is there. The opportunity is there to arbitrage it. It's just up to the market maker of the project or the asset to do it before somebody else does.
So do you see with Pulse Chain and Pulse X, there's going to be a big I know if you've been in this for that long, you have to see you have to see shit that we're not talking about and understand.
It's gonna be nuts, man.
There's going to be a lot of arbitrage.
Insight. I want to know some insight, some legit insight. Everyone says all these things all of the time, and it's just all like lots of talking in circles about nothing really at the end of the day. Is there any certainty that can be predicted in this launch at all?
Hey man, I'm sorry. Somebody's at my door.
Dude, please. I'll pull you down.
Give me like 30. I'll be back.
Oh, sorry.
This is going to be interesting. I appreciate his insight on the liquidity in the market related to crypto, because crypto Circula and I have had this conversation briefly, right, where we're talking about this, and I've had this idea that for over a decade now that's why I like options better than equities, because options are a less efficient market than equities. When I say equities, I mean stocks, and there's not a tremendous amount of value that can be extracted because the market's a lot more efficient, right? So you go to options, right? And then what is even less efficient from that standpoint would be crypto. So there could be a lot, not only like, yes, there's amazing things, there's a tremendous amount of flow into there, but also that there's opportunities. There was the guy I was he's like a child basically. He's in his early 30s, but he was printing $1 million a day just by arbitraging things. So if you go to buy,
at this point, if you just dig into arbitrage opportunities, you could do that for a living for sure. But I mean, a full-time job, probably. Like, I don't want that job, but I believe I could do that too. I could also scam people for a living, but I don't want that job. Like, there's so many things you can do, but again, we always get back to that passion thing. It's like, I don't, like, even if somebody was like, oh, there's an arbitrage opportunity, you can just do it over and over again, I probably wouldn't even do it, because it's just like, that's just not what I give a shit about personally. But like some people, that's probably all they do.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to do, oh, never mind. You're good. And then I'm going to add one more person to the mix real quick. Let's see who it is. Who do we got? Hexorca. How are you?
You guys can't see it, but I'm flexing, baby. I'm guns out, baby.
Beer gang.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to hop in and say I love what Satoshi was saying, man. Really cool kind of a macro perspective of keeping in mind, like, if you just look at one asset and one chart and you start to fall in love with this narrative that it's like operating independent of the rest of the world, you really set yourself up for some disappointing outcomes. There's just so many forces at play, and some of them are really large.
Yeah, some of them are trying to screw everything else in the market. Like what Vanguard and BlackRock and the Fed are all doing. I don't want to get
BlackRock,
to the text-to-speech algorithms might kill your video if I start talking about it too much. But
it'll only motivate me more. It'll only motivate me more, Satoshi.
Dude, I'm same wavelength, man.
People can't try to cancel me at everything I've ever done. Just reason I'm successful in my life is probably because of that.
Yeah, I keep popping up, man. No matter where I'm in the DeFi rabbit hole, I'm not even on the main stage, so it's cool because I pop up and I just drop the seed, like decentralize everything and make sure that you're getting your crypto off of centralized exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, and wake up, because it's a war. Like, crypto is, in my opinion, the deletion of one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. War has been deleted from the real world, and now it's here. You got China, you got Russia, you got United States. They're all fighting over Bitcoin, right? They're all fighting over 38,000 crypto markets because they understand it's an unregulated space. We can do whatever the hell we want without consequence. So it's a war.
Talk about this. So like, we're not, like, I do see that there is a sense that there's, over the next decade or two, there's going to be a definitely downward trend in the physical violence in the world. Like, that's just a sense that you like there's a big awakening.
Always been down necessarily? Like, if you really look at a chart,
might be.
I think if you look at a chart of violence, it's been down the whole time. Like, I think it's sketchy. Like, shit's sketchy now. Like, I live in the city. Like, yeah, if you go down to a certain street, you're going to get robbed, 100%.
Oh yeah, the streets.
Not even a question. Like, I would be like, go ahead, walk down there. You're gonna get robbed. It would be immediate. Like, there's just places you don't go in certain areas. But that's the thing. It's like, if you're smart at all with your crypto, with your physical health, with your OPSEC, a little bit, you don't need to be like, you got to give someone really a reason to want to come at you. And if it's a totally random act.
But what Satoshi was saying is the, like, using the war as like a metaphor, instead of me punching you, right? It's like an information war. I don't know if I'm using like the way you're thinking about it, right? Yeah. And it's a war of like belief systems, so to speak, in a way. And I like that, because it's true. Like, we're going through very transformative time,
And we're foot soldiers, Sam. This whole show, I made this show, one, to help me learn better, because if I sit down for 3 hours and stream about DeFi, you learn a lot. And two is because I'm fighting back against all these furus. It's Furuville, USA. And everyone wants money, no one wants to do it right. Just be honest, make good content, get a fan base because of the person you are and because of the person that you have become over the years. You know what I mean? That's
they're
what
infiltrators. They're infiltrators.
Right. And some people are great and nice and everything, but it's like, I want people to know the truth. So I'm just going to do that myself now. Like, I've always been talking to Sam, talking to all these other guys in Telegram, video chats, anywhere I can find some guys that'll talk some real shit for a minute. I've been looking, and now I'm just like, I want everyone to hear this shit now. So I'm just been motivated to try and build this channel, and it's a good feeling when it's for a good cause, you know, like, or at least I feel like it is, you know, that people are hearing the truth. I've said some shit on here that people never thought they would hear out of another man's mouth. But I just wanted to be transparent, because at the end of the day, we have only one shot at this life. We'll be dead. I could die whenever. So
this is the last frontier, man. Crypto is it's the one thing that's going to delete all middlemen. So it just makes sense to participate in what will essentially be the last middleman to ever be. And you're talking about real estate, you're talking about supply chain, you talk about money, you talk about any of these different sectors. Crypto very easily replaces that. So, you know, you need to jump on. If you're a mortgage broker or you're a fucking lender, you need to make the mechanism on crypto that replaces all lenders and mortgage brokers. Otherwise, you're rugged with the rest of them. You know, like, the loser here is anybody who doesn't come through the door now. Because trust me, they're not going to stop it. They could try. I mean, the SEC is really, like, they're supposed to be like regulators and helping, but all they're doing is preserving their Mile High Club because we're disrupting it. We're disrupting it.
Yes.
And now you got Bitcoin Magazine Max. He's getting paid by God knows what power that be. Whose entry on Bitcoin was probably 40K, saying, "Oh, happy all-time high day." Are you freaking stupid? 2 days later, you get wrecked. You're getting wrecked 2 days later. It took 2 fucking days. Happy all-time high day, though. I'm glad that you didn't sell.
Wow. Okay, this is awesome. I love this.
How can we make this about Richard Hart at all? I totally rugged.
He's right. That's how you can make. He's right.
No, you're not. You're good.
I want it to be about. I want to say a point about what points were we at. Richard Hart went from being a Bitcoin maxi to an Ethereum maxi, right?
No, he just changed his worldview.
To building a brand new coin on Ethereum that everyone said was a scam, that outperformed every other crypto since launch.
He's a money man.
Why is he doing it? Why is he interested in crypto to begin with, right? When you hear about sacrificing for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, these aren't just things that he willy-nilly slapped on to get the algo to pump his First Amendment, love. Like, Twitter doesn't give a shit about your freedom of speech. They're a private company. So he's not doing it for clout. He's doing it because those are values that he actually cares about. And crypto embodies many of those values with its utility, like Satoshi's saying, to replace those middlemen services. So, like, this pulse chain thing, it's not just a cash grab. He's a capitalist, so he aligns his incentives economically, because that's what we have found historically to be the most efficient incentive program. But he's not doing it because he just needs more and more and more money. I'm sure he would, as much as he enjoys speaking to the community, he'd enjoy spending his own time doing other things as well. So it is really a passion project that speaks to the movement of crypto. And unfortunately, while Ethereum was bringing us to the doorstep of DeFi, it ran into many of the same snags that Bitcoin has. And so if Richard doesn't go do this, who will? The empty chain forks don't really bring any of the traffic, so they're not really increasing capacity for Ethereum. Someone's got to do it. And if we just sit back and wait,
they're making deals with infiltrators,
with legacy. Yeah. So he's really taking on a freedom fighter position. And sure, do I think that he deserves to be paid? Yeah, I'm not asking him to become broke and die miserable so that I can have crypto.
But what you're saying, Orca, is what happens is part of capitalism. Like, look at what just took place. I think it was this morning or last night, where Elon Musk did put in an offer for 40 plus billion for Twitter, right?
Sure,
and that's a case because of capitalism. He's able to do that to buy that. So when you have these, right, because we know all this giant hole is just sucking the rest of society into it. We're just here way before everybody else is, right? And this giant black hole is going to continue to expand as it sucks in the rest of the world to where we already are. And the people that are here are going to have those economic resources that allow people to do, say, what Elon's doing with Twitter, right? Because Twitter couldn't get any fucking worse than it is from a censorship standpoint. So, like, any change is probably.
Can I share a story on that? I said I was just talking, like, you know, like the whole like freedom fighter thing that I'm always freaking talking about, right? I said I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna spell it. I said rug the FED on Twitter, and immediately got sniped. Like, they took me out. I took days of messaging, and I had to be like, yo, I'm going to call my lawyer, violation of my freedom of speech above, and they gave me my Twitter back. But, dude, it was rough.
Dude, that's intense. It was really because of that tweet?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, you think about, you're on Spaces, your phone is draining more than if you're on Telegram VC. Why is that? They're using your phone's resources to do text-to-speech algorithms that they're taking all that data and feeding it to their AI machine to figure out where everybody's going, what everybody's talking about, and how the hell can I arbitrage it.
It's just like the Battle of Waterloo.
Bullshit.
Electronics. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I think, you know, we've identified, and Satoshi brought it up when he was saying infiltrators. Look, if there's economic opportunity, people are going to seize it until it's dried up. So you are going to have a ton of people that maybe they can't even like wrap their hands around what crypto really is, but they can identify that there's hordes of people looking for information, and they know that with the right thumbnail and the right tags, they can just get some of that traffic, and they can serve as like tributary profitability. But is it ultimately helping anybody? Probably not. I'm not convinced that it's, you know, detracting from the crypto movement necessarily in any significant way, but it is an unfortunate collateral damage that occurs.
It's slowing it down, you know. But that, I feel like that's the point, right? I mean, let's look at the last 2 years, right? We had an explosive run, something that hasn't happened ever. And I mean, it's happened on Bitcoin, you know, in increments that nobody ever spoke about, right? But it happened on a mainstream level, and we had an adoption curve come in. And what happened? We had.
Can you explain that for somebody like me that's brand new? Like, I've been in crypto for 2 months. So what do you mean exactly when you're saying over the last 2 years?
So every liquidity arbitrage bot that was watching every single buyer and seller in every market saw the fact that everybody was doing this grand exodus into crypto. And what do? Do what they always do, try to front run it. So what did they do? They called up whatever liquidity assets they could grab, like, Fed, I need a loan for 2% for hundreds of millions of dollars. And literally, you had a hyperinflationary moment at a time where all of this money was just being injected, right? And now we're in this massive short-term bear market, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's
contractual cycle kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a cycle. It's a part of the cycle. But when you think about that cycle, what is that? Well, if I was the elitist mechanism and I sent everything to the moon, and now I'm selling everything off as people are onboarding, they look at their number go down and they're like, I don't want to do this. They think it's a scam. It's not a scam. You're being scammed by the people in the legacy system because they're coming in here trying to infiltrate. You have to. Yeah, you have to be infantry, hold the line, and just go into it. You keep buying the dip until it keeps. If it keeps on dipping, you buy it some more. You lean into that shit because guess what? At some point, you're gonna hit a floor. And when you hit a floor, you go in with everything you fucking have. And guess what? We own the floor. At that point, we own the floor. And if we do it together and we're coordinated, we win. And guess what? They have no choice at that point to send us to the moon again because they don't have enough control. It's all about control for them. You know, so
it's like when somebody was, I think it was Abit was on, and it showed the chart of like Hex in just the last 3 weeks had put on 10,000 new stakes, and I still, it's on my list of videos to take a look into to do the research on that. But if the adoption of Hex is happening, you know, 10,000 new stakes, maybe say 5,000 new people, whatever you want to assume in terms of like the number of people per stake, right? But holy fuck, that is some really quick adoption, right? And you see like what you're talking about, holding up the floor in a sense, like This is this is
2,500
what-
stakers since ABIT came on.
right.
You know what's
This
crazy,
is crazy.
though, is you can't even fathom what the real exponential side of the curve looks like. I think back to when I was I think I was probably in high school when the Motorola Razr cell phone came out.
Oh my
And
god.
that was like the first aesthetic that really gripped everybody away from like the Nokia and some of the other Motorola models that were out there. But everybody wanted that damn Razr, and you think that is like, wow, that is parabolic adoption. Fast forward 3 more years and put the iPhone in everyone's hands. That's parabolic.
So question for you guys,
parabolic
because
as fuck.
all 3 of you have more experience on this, and Satoshi, you have, from what I've heard, you have a lot more, like 10 years or.
Dude, I mean, I've probably been financially vested in crypto for like 7 years, but like, what I did was just absorb information. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a degenerate, know nothing. The only reason why I know anything is because of people like Richard Hart, who just open source their information and just say, hey, this is what it is. Like, a lot of the like early days, you couldn't get a lot of the information. Like, trying to find some resources for Solidity, it was like impossible. But when you went on YouTube and you saw Richard Hart dropping like alpha, like back end alpha, like how this shit functions, you got the freaking Bible for crypto, and you got it for free. So when Hex dropped, dude, I was like, I'm just putting the money in there because that's a thank you to Richard. And then go figure, I'm the one that benefited from it. Like, holy shit,
dude, that's such a great point. That's how I feel about even like the influencers and stuff. So like GymRat's got his own channel now, circled around crypto. Stolt's got his own channel. He's doing all sorts of different content across very wide ranges. And some people might look at individuals who are creating entrepreneurship avenues in this space as like, oh, well, why go to him when Richard gives it for free? Listen, man, not everyone knows who Richard is. Not everyone knows that Richard exists. And while he has years and years of evergreen content that you can pour through and become a genius, not everyone's going to do it. Some people just need a vendor to hand them the product. So I think it's absolutely okay for hexacanes or other crypto advocates to be making money by giving that alpha, because the alternative is those people are going to spend money to seek information, and they're going to fall in the hands of victims or of predators.
Crypto is every day. So it's not like, I don't care what any hexakin, that day one hexakin or day one. If you haven't been studying up in the last 2 months, you're wrecked. You're new. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. If you're 2 months out, let's say you go on vacay, just put your computer phone away. 2 months. You come back. You won't even know what to say compared to what everyone's talking about.
I left crypto for 3 months, came back and didn't recognize anything.
Nothing.
I was like,
it's just
what happened to crypto?
My public service, I'm doing something Richard Hart cannot do, but due to his time schedule, I'm sure. I am updating everyone to date on what's going on so they don't get
plus,
scammed.
man, some of the things he said 4 years ago aren't exactly the same anymore.
True.
So, like, we have to – some people can't appreciate how valuable the evergreen content of Richard Hart is because it simply holds truth for years. That's very rare in the internet age. He could say something in 2017 and then you can go watch it now and it's like, oh, yeah, that actually lines up. That makes sense. But most people aren't going to go dig into the archives. Many people simply don't know him. Some people simply don't like his tone. People have different tastes and preferences. We can't account for any of them. So it's if you want to pump your own bags, I think it's important to go make your own channel. It's important to put out your own content.
Well, that's how the adoption is
going money or not. It's your time and exactly, man.
We have an obligation.
If people want to donate to you, that's awesome because that gives you the fuel to keep onboarding people.
Yeah, we have an obligation to do it. Not just as people who want to be financially free, but to financially free others. I mean, at any point, I mean, look, the Bitcoin white paper dropped in 2009, 2008, right? Since then, if as long as you participated in that network up till like maybe the last like year, you were in profit and you were becoming more financially free every day. And that was at a couple cents, that was at a couple dollars, that was at a couple thousand. Crypto is for, as long as the money printers exist globally and are attached to these fiat economies, crypto will continue to provide opportunity for anyone who participates in it because they're always going to print money. And matter of fact, the more the exodus happens, the more they have to print money because they have no exit liquidity. Everybody's coming here, and now the institution has no choice but to pump my bags for once instead of the vice versa, where you're selling me off and trying to wreck me. Nah, bro, my entries are lit, bro. My entries are not going anywhere either. Like, fuck around, bro.
It's good. What you're saying is the ship is going to sink faster and faster as we go on because they're going to try to compensate for
We're
it.
holding the line. We're putting all our money in assets. We're all holding the line. We're just like, if you keep printing, baby, we're going to keep holding, and that inflation's just coming to the army. Until we start making more money than them, then that's the moment the power switches. It's just a moment. It's a moment in time. It's like once they can no longer once you're beating them by so much and they're only digging themselves down, by then they'll probably already have like, their coins that they are going to F around with in the United States and all that. But the one thing that I wanted to mention, I forgot this. But hold on, just give me 1 second. Literally, I want to do this for myself.
Now we need what is that?
The Jeopardy music.
The Jeopardy music, guys.
Now I'm just thinking of the song. I can't remember.
Awesome.
I'll bring it up later.
So, when you think of PulseX launching, right now you had just mentioned we're in this kind of like bear market, right? What do you like? Yes, it's conjecture, right? But what could that say based upon somebody who has a lot more experience when something comes out in a bear market and it is successful?
Love it.
Because you guys both have Orca and Satoshi. You have more experience than me, and I'm assuming Orca that you have at least a couple of years in crypto, so you have more perspective on new things coming out in bear markets. And what is it like? That probably doesn't happen super often. I don't have any context.
Well, it definitely does happen super often. I would say it's somewhat often because people come out with stuff every single day. So many things have launched,
but it's not successful.
Yeah,
right. But that's the difference right there. It's like why is what it all? The only real question is why is what we're talking about successful? Things
market
come
depth.
from the bear market just because they're launched. Like all the other layer ones are probably did good when they launched, and some of them suck or not even around today. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, guys, on that
Satoshi, can you explain that? You said market depth. What does that mean? What are you talking about?
The amount of, all right, like if you jump on any exchange, it could be a centralized exchange, it could be a DEX, it could be Robinhood. Each asset has a market depth, and you see this little chart, right? And it has the amount of buyers on one side, amount of buyers on the other side, how much they're average buying, and it's like down to the whales, down to the little tuna, the little piranha, whatever. Call them piranha because none of us are krill. A million piranha can eat a whale. Remember that.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, let's go. But all of that is market depth, right? And if there is a mature market depth, it means if there's a lot of buyers and sellers in an asset, generally a whale has an.
That spoon, Sam, is killing me.
Oh, let me mute myself. I'm sorry, guys.
The whale has an incentive to jump into that pool because market depth is matured to the point where it's now there's enough liquidity there that if you jump in with the big bags, you're not going to have slippage not be your friend. It'll be your friend, because there's not a lot of liquidity, and you put $1 million on an asset, you'd be lucky if you get a fraction of that in some scenarios. So they look for market depth to be mature enough to participate on these assets. And the great part is like when it comes to Hex or Pulse, this is, in my opinion, one of the largest, most successful social engineering revolutions that has hit this space. It's the one thing in the space that has disrupted the most disrupting space in the world.
Yeah, it's like
it's disruption. It's disruption. Is that what it is? So yeah. So
double disruption.
Yeah. The market depth on Hex and what I assume will be Pulse when it goes mainnet, it's going to be for everyone. You just get in there like swimwear. There's going to be so much movement. There's going to be so much liquidity. And as long as you're smart and you're persistent and you diversify accordingly and you stay within the ecosystem and try to find good projects and make sure that you psychologically evaluate these devs when these pools start rolling out. Okay, you're a rug. Okay, you're not a rug. Okay, you're cool.
You also have to be healthy while you do it, because if you're not mentally stable, I'm not saying like you don't necessarily have to be body fit to make money, but if you're not mentally stable, if your life is absolutely trash mentally, good luck.
Well, I got 4 kids, so my life is perpetually like mental trash. But I eat a lot of lion's mane mushrooms. So does that help?
That helps. That's
Nice.
actually the only thing that can counteract the
Yeah.
negative dopaminergic side effects of having children.
Yeah. It's right on the nose, bro.
Magic mushrooms. This is absolutely incredible. Let me do one thing real quick, guys. Real quick, I'm gonna drop. I have a link. I have a clips page that I started for this show. Since it's so long form, I'm just gonna start the clip page so like I can break them down into little pieces. Go ahead. I just dropped the link, guys. Go ahead and if you want to, and just subscribe to that channel. So if you want to, because I gotta, you know how it goes.
Pump that algo, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Pump the algo.
Good production. Good production
Can I
quality.
shill?
things.
I want to shill.
Please shill.
Go for it.
Oh no, I'm only kidding. Well, I will shill because I have an obligation to.
Tell a little bit about what you're doing or into at this moment in time.
Well, if you ask me, I'm half a Richard Hart maxi and half a meme NFT maxi. Meme NFT.
The half maxi.
Yeah. So memenft.com is an NFT marketplace that's currently in alpha. It's it's in testnet right now. We're rolling out support for 7 networks. That's right, 7, not 1 or 2 or 3, 7 networks. One of them is Pulse. I'm so bullish on Pulse. The team was like, "Yeah, we're adding Pulse," and I did a little dance.
Nice.
I'm also bullish on Pulse. I'm bullish on Pulse Chain, guys. Let's go.
Too freaking bullish, man. But yeah, it's an NFT marketplace. Check it out. I'm at memenft.com. Soft shill is over. That's it. We're good.
Hey, and that's totally cool. Yeah. And when he says NFT maxi, he probably just means like you just think that's really fun and cool.
No, meme NFT is the name of the marketplace.
NFTs like that was like the only thing. No. That was like
we named it memenft.com because it's the marketplace.
So it's just your baby. You're just talking about you love Pulse and then you love your
project. That could be really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
I love NFTs. That's probably the one thing I disagree with Richard Hart on is NFTs because it will be revolutionary once they start. Once they stop.
Agree with him. I feel like he would agree with the things you said if you said them, but like for what his message is, he's just like, I don't have time for that. It's kind of like I don't have time to think about that resource, so I'm just gonna shit on it, kind of. But like, let's be honest. You could see the volume if you look at the NFT volume on these platforms. You could just it's 25% of the Ethereum volume.
Yeah, it's insane.
Can you talk about that? Because I don't have any appreciation for NFTs in terms of like the art is what people like to say. But I'm very bullish on the thing that I see NFTs as a smart contract.
Right, and the thing is I'm bullish on all of it because when you talk about like these NFT like PFP projects, a lot of people say their only utility is a JPEG. Well, in most scenarios, because 99% of anything is a rug, whether it's a token or a non-fungible, fungible, don't matter. 99% of it's a freaking rug, right? You got to find that 1% that has fundamental catalysts and moves. The fundamental baseline catalyst for a good NFT PFP project is its community.
What is PFP? Real quick.
Profile picture. So basically a JPEG. Like the Bored Ape, for example, right? I can't stand the Bored Ape. It's probably a bad example. What happens in these communities, it kind of reminds me of what happens in real estate, right? It's a comparables kind of market, right? Let's say you're in a gated community and it's high tax bracket, values are up, everything's up, right? And I'm in that neighborhood. I own a house and I want to sell because I want to go to another neighborhood. I have about 2 options. I can sell at the floor and wait till somebody picks it up. I could sell below the floor and bring the comp down on the whole community. Or I could call my neighbor and be like, hey, I'm selling my house. And then they say, oh, well, my cousin's looking to move in the area. Let me just buy the house from you. And not only am I giving my cousin the opportunity to come into the community, I'm preserving the floor of that market. You get what I'm saying? So NFTs are kind of the same way.
Real estate has utility. Like, what's the utility of like a?
Well, the same utility that real estate real estate has many utilities, but that community utility, it's the same in NFTs. It's just digital real estate if you think about it, right? The community can still preserve that intrinsic value within itself, because the community itself is holding this, and it's kind of like it's kind of like total value locked, right? I'm locking my value in. I'm not selling, and as long as I believe in the community, I'm not gonna sell. If things change and I start dumping for below the floor so that the sniping bots pick it up, then what happens? The floor is going down, and that says that somebody did not believe in it anymore. And it doesn't matter that you're believing in a JPEG, or if you're believing in the team or the devs or whoever the case may be. You're believing in it, and belief is a utility, and it can't be ignored, because that if you have enough people believing in one thing, I mean, look at Richard Hart, right? This is why I love crypto, because it's the first time where you're getting the potential of you, what your capacity is, right? You're getting that true potential, right? And then it's voting with your money. Like, I'm gonna elect Richard Hart, the leader.
Well, is it kind of like, in essence, like a way to monetize belief?
Yeah,
in a sense?
exactly. Well, I don't like the word
version?
monetize, because now we're in the age where money isn't really. It's not like it was, because money was previously this greedy, crazy arbitrage model of, I need to get it first, and screw you, I'm gonna take from you to make from. And crypto is like, we can all just like lock arms, and no matter what hits us, we're good, as long as we're continuing to lock arms and believe in each other and believe in the goal. And the goal is to disrupt, create innovation, to constantly find the fundamentals in this space, find the light in mostly dark bullshit, and attach to that and grow that. So for me, whether it's an NFT or whether it's a fungible token, I actually believe that fungible tokens are have a problem right now, because of all of the legacy forces that have these giant arbitrary mechanisms that are tethered to the world reserve currency. At the end of the day, if they run money printers, it affects all of our bags. Like, we see that happen, right? Dollar strength is almost at 100%, about to break a high fractal. If it does that, dollar's bullish for short term, and the market may feel that, and you'll see negative 5% across the freaking board, right? That's the problem when we talk about crypto. What's great about NFTs is there's no tie to that liquidity arbitrary mechanism. It's all psychological. It's human Fibonacci levels. We're trading with each other, and we're building value without liquidity. And at any point, no dollar printing machine can dilute us and get the normies or whoever's onboarding for the first time or doesn't necessarily know how this works, they don't see that. They think that, oh, it's a scam, or numbers going down because I'm getting sold off. It was a bad entry, and I get out, and then I don't come back, right? And it's all because they're running money printers to be toxic as hell to try and slow down adoption into crypto. So, when you ask me about NFTs, I'm really, really bullish on them. I just think that, like, we need to get away from the in real life, like the opposite of that. We need to get away from.
It's hard to be bullish on NFTs when there's so much to look. I'm not saying, obviously, I'm bullish on NFTs too. I might not be purchasing any. I'm definitely bullish on NFTs in general, like, clearly. But, is there, when you know about these DeFi assets that really produce yield at a high rate, my brain doesn't click. Like, I just see, like, why don't I just put all my money into the yield bearing assets? But I don't know how me and Sam are pretty much the same on the NFTs. Zippo. I do not understand NFTs. I've never looked into it. But again, I got into crypto I bought Bitcoin at 3,400 right before it shot up. I got super lucky.
Excellent.
So I was like 2 years ago, I think, before COVID started. But I bought Hex for the first time when Bitcoin was May 1st of last year. So it was, nice. Bitcoin was headed down, and we were at 2 cents, and it was headed the other way. So I got really lucky, and that's kind of what brought my passion. I was like, damn, it's just crazy. Like, then I kept digging, fucking just massive amount of digging, until the point where it's like, I got to make videos about this shit. Why don't people know about this? Why can I not convince any of my parents or my family or my friends or the smart businessmen in my life to look at this shit? And it's like, one, I've realized now after time, the security is still just a big issue, because people don't give a fuck about security in general.
big businessmen don't even care about their security in like the state in the States, like with their shit.
Until they're getting rugged.
Until they're getting rugged, but they don't get all the way rugged. They're kind of just always leveraging their money. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pulling money out of the working man's dollar
exactly.
to get at 2% interest, and that's the reason why they'll never fail. But the problem is you can only do that for so long before the people realize what's going on.
Yeah.
End up on the White House front lawn, end up the Parliament front lawn, and be like, if you don't stop this shit right now, it's gonna be French Revolution heads on sticks.
Dude, I've been calling for it for years.
And the thing is that us in crypto, we won't have to lift a finger. We won't have to lift a finger. We won't have to go to war with anyone. We won't have to lead a revolution. They will be so upset, they'll do it themselves, and then we just move accordingly. Because we're smart, we're paying attention, we understand what's happening, and the leaders in our space are doing their due diligence with the resources that they have, and then trickling it down in the way that it's supposed to be. Which is why I'm bullish on Richard Hart, because he's gonna come in and tell you how it is, no matter what. He could be a trillionaire. He's gonna come in and be like, "Guess what? I learned today. This is what's really going on," and you're gonna be like, "Shit, bro."
Yeah, imagine how much more they learn. How much more alpha guys like that learn behind the scenes. Imagine their green rooms when they're talking in the back. Imagine what stuff gets spit back and forth there.
Because I got to argue with him for like 10 minutes, right? When we talk, he did the spaces for proof of work, and he was like, "Why proof of work doesn't work?" And I have an opinion on it. I don't particularly like delegated proof of stake because of things like collusion that happens between validators and bots. They'll skirt gas fees and actually just like front run transactions. As a trader, when I find an asset on Ethereum, I can't even touch it anymore. Oh, this is a freaking gem. In the old days, I would have been jumped in out of freaking 100x, and I'd have been chilling, right? But now when I go to do it, I feel like there's sentiment analysis on my wallets. It's crazy. I touch it, they stop it. I paid the gas anyways, so I go back. I'm like, all right, they start pumping it, and I say, all right, let me get in. I'm gonna go high gas, right? I get in high gas. They might reject it again, but if I do get in, what would have been 100% profit is now like 25% because they pumped it, and then the minute I jump back in, they're selling me the fuck off.
Do you think that's our bots though?
Yeah, all day. I mean, the way that they move, it's obviously botted because it's right on the second, and they're colluding with validators. It's a fact. These validators are making deals.
Do you think they're colluding with them?
Miners.
But my background's in finance and accounting, and when you look at that, it's not necessarily. There's a lot more data that's available that it doesn't have as many more eyeballs on it, trying to find opportunities to make the money in the crypto space as there is in like legacy world, right? Because there's only, I heard a number like 2% or something of the population of the planet is in DeFi or cryptos, and it's like somebody that I know who has.
Oh no, Ruggin! Dang it! That was a good point. I felt where it was going.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to speak to. I know he's gone, so it's probably not going to do him much.
There he is.
Maybe he's back. Nice. Sam, I wanted to pile on to what Satoshi was saying about success in a bear market, launching a new product. Because I had spent some time in a Twitter space speaking with some pretty heavy Ethereum NFT artist community members, and we were going back and forth about Pulse Chain. They're very skeptical, very arm's length about the discussion. And one of the gentlemen who was a bit more stubborn, he wasn't exactly in the conversation for learning opportunities, just much more trying to poke holes and everything. He could not wrap his mind around how people won't just drain the liquidity out of Pulse Chain because of these PRC20s. And I'm explaining like DEX routing to him and liquidity to him and why you can't take all of Ethereum's value by selling all of Shiba Inu. And like there's just dynamics and layers to it. But that's one of the things that actually creates a bullish argument is where is the money that is in the Pulse Chain system right now is just seed money. It's not, no one's been able to buy.
Well, I have a question, Orca, for you on this. So
sure.
So I'm like, okay, I have the vast majority of my shit is in ERC20s or Ethereum, right? Right. There's going to be a lot of people that they have that That's their baseline. And then they have Pulse Chain that comes out, and they have now these free copies of something. And what do we know about people who get free copies?
They like to sell shit.
Correct. So, right, what do you think? I mean, like, that's going to be a decent portion of people.
At the minimum, they're paying gas. At the minimum, they're paying gas.
So you're bullish on Pulse X.
Me and all my friends want to buy Pulse so bad, though, and I sacrificed for Pulse, and I want to buy Pulse so bad.
But the idea is this. The idea is like if you have a vault with a bunch of gold in it, and then right next door you have a vault that just has several pennies in it, robbing the vault with several pennies doesn't liquidate the bank, right? So selling your worthless PRC20s that no one has established back liquidity for to try and drain whatever economic power is being stored within Pulse Chain, it's not an effective strategy. The slippage that you're going to encounter will decimate 95% of that trade on its own, and then the rest of the 5% is going to be diluted because you're in such an early acquisition phase anyway. You're dealing with market buys and sells on a price that's going to be shooting up and down like it's on a trampoline.
And all you're going to do is bring in the bots. They're going to start front running, and and as soon as you sell, they're going to start pumping. And it's just gonna bring more adoption into Pulse. It's genius. Right. It's freaking genius. At the minimum, the computers will just do it, and then what'll happen is all these numbers will start to go, and now the computers have the floor. So what's going on? All these people are seeing what's happening on Pulse, and they're gonna jump in, and like they should have jumped in before the bots.
So is it kind of like you know how there's tunnels underneath water, right? And what you're kind of describing in my mind, I see a picture of a tunnel where cars might go through, except for this is a metaphor for what Pulse is. And as soon as that fucking puncture comes in, there's water flowing into that tunnel, and there's no fucking stopping it.
No stopping.
Even if you want to take 6 gallons out, like there's no stopping it. Is that how you guys are seeing this?
And the incentivization is this is a new delegated proof of stake coming out to mainnet. Like anybody who's in this space understands the arbitrage opportunity of brand new delegated proof of stake. So at the minimum, there's going to be a massive rush, and then they're all going to like swing trade the hell out of it. But either way, I'm good, because when they go to swing trade it, usually they'll keep the profits in, because you don't want to close the position. It doesn't make sense to close a position
Closing
on anything in
is
crypto.
very dumb. People know that.
Like crypto, it's how you get wrecked, bro.
Stupid.
You don't give up your entry.
Who wants to close unless it's Cardano? Like, don't close your entire position. Like, it's just because even if it's 5% in 5 years, that could have just been the one that went not nuclear, and then that's your whole retirement. The one, the hedron, or the whatever you can claim because you weren't paying attention.
Everything that ran in the last year and a half, I probably had 100. Like I said, I had 120 positions. Right at a certain point, I was charting so much, I was like, I can't do it. I was charting all day. My head was hurting. I was
Hold
looking
on
at all
one
things,
second.
right?
We have someone we're adding to the bunch real quick. Whales only.
I knew it. Nice. What's up, Whales?
I've heard a lot about you, Whales, bro. Let's do it.
Oh shit. Okay.
We got everyone now. We got the whole
all right, let's try. Right before we start, I want to say let's all try to be. I'm going to be calm. My ADD is not flaring up right now. Let's all try to talk in turn, because y'all are crazy and y'all.
Should we have like a we pass something and then
pass it on popcorn? Like in school, they said popcorn.
We got to bring everybody on earlier because I have to run. Whales, I gotta get out of here.
That's all right. Between the two of them, we'll still get after it, and we can always do a show next week where we get everyone together.
Yeah, this is fun, man. Anytime you guys want me on here, bro, I'm down to talk with you guys.
Yes.
Sure,
Orca, we'll talk soon. Satoshi, sure, awesome. Thanks for coming on. Like, this is great. Whales, sorry we didn't get to chat, but I'm glad to see you're here. I hope everybody has a great time who's listening. Thanks for all the support and everything. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, find me on Twitter, bro. It's my name is exactly what it is on the corner of the screen.
Sweet, yeah. If you want to, awesome. We can do definitely a deep dive chat and just talk for hours.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic. And everybody wants to, I have my other YouTube channel down below, and I think Twitter. Yeah. I think GRC put it down below as well.
It's in my details now on every one of my videos.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the conversation. Talk to you
soon.
Peace out, bro.
I don't know if I could flex like that.
What's up, Wales? How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How you guys doing?
Well, it's a beautiful day outside, which is kind of lifting my spirits a little bit.
Yeah, man. It's like 70s up here.
It's been hot.
I've been running like crazy because the weather's been improving so much. I wasn't gonna run today, but damn, they're giving me no choice.
Nice.
68 million hex just staked for 10 days.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Pretty
Just
crazy.
enough t-shirts.
T-share rate, ratchet up, get your T-shares. But
I don't know how many t-shirts it was. Probably like 2,000.
3,600.
3,000.
That's not a lot. Damn.
Yeah. That's the thing that sucks about this. It's
3,393.
just like it's that in between opportunity.
So-
I think I wanted to pile on like with Satoshi, and when Sam was asking about the tunnel and the water, you know, I think maybe to bring some idea of like the speed of adoption, I like to imagine an empty swimming pool, and I like to imagine that empty swimming pool could be like representative of Bitcoin, and as the pool fills up, that's more economic power entering Bitcoin. And at the edge of the pool, at the surface, you know, the surrounding area is just a concrete walkway. And so you have this field of pools, and each of them are these major layer ones. And Bitcoin filled up first. And once Bitcoin had really achieved this critical mass and Ethereum became a secondary pool offering, some of the spillover leads into Ethereum. Now, some people come, they attend, new people come to the pool all the time, they jump in and they help raise the water level. But people get out of the pool too, and that brings the prices down. I think we're at a stage now where Pulse Chain has no choice but to take the overflow from Ethereum, right? There's so many people that want to use Ethereum. We can see it in the gas fee.
Well, look, hold on. Let me stop you right there because
Sure.
right before I got on, what was Satoshi saying? He was just saying, I don't want to touch anything on Ethereum.
Right.
That's a huge statement.
See,
Dude,
he would
when
flow out of Ethereum into Pulse Chain.
Yeah, but hold on, because I've been saying that for months. I've been saying that ever since Pulse Chain was announced, and nobody wants to fucking believe me. Well,
When a delegated proof of stake starts burning like a shit coin, I'm good, bro.
This is the most honest crypto show on the internet. I'm trying to make it. These words are important, guys. He's not kidding. That's his belief. That, guys, everyone needs to be researching this stuff a lot.
Dude, we can see it on like so I told Tangent the other day to pull up the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. He's like, I don't really look at this often. It's like, well, you should because it tells you how strong Ethereum is relative to Bitcoin, and it's just been pushing Bitcoin shit in now for years. So like, you're gonna have to just accept that if the rest of the world is catching up to how much better Ethereum is to Bitcoin, then a lot of people that are big on Ethereum will see value in Pulse Chain, and a lot of people will follow those people. So it's just it's a slam dunk. I feel really bad for people that are still like going really heavy into Bitcoin right now when there's just so much evolution in the space, and it speaks to the Bitcoin white paper. I feel bad for a pleb that is doing their best. They want to find good info and then they land on some sucker.
Here's a difference, and I gotta just highlight this because we gotta stop throwing words around. A pleb is an individual that isn't trying to learn and is not trying to elevate their game. A noob is who you're talking about. Noob is who you're talking about, and I agree with the noob. I don't agree with the plebs because there's plenty of plebs in Bitcoin that've been in Bitcoin since 2015, bro, and they still don't know anything.
True.
You know,
that's a good point. It's a good distinction.
Yeah. And this is why I'm very particular. Like, I will interrupt a fucking thread on Twitter to be like, nope, wrong word. Wrong,
no, it's important.
It matters. It matters. It definitely matters, bro.
Especially like we can't even get crypto like as its own one individual community. We're so tribalized and segmented. So the language matters.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that's on purpose too, because you got 38. I think last year was 38,000 crypto markets, right? It smells to me like divide and conquer.
I didn't even know that. Yes,
100%, man.
Of course,
dude. The three of us, and I'm not leaving you out, GymRat, but I know Wales opinions of some legacy buffoonery, and I quickly figured out.
I work on Wall Street, bro. I'm literally working right now.
But
like if they knew what I was doing, I'd be fucking fired in 2.5 seconds. There's no way I could be talking about crypto and be employed by these people.
Dude, I mean, 2018, the whatever the name of their tax law was back in 2018, it took the 1031 exchange away from crypto opportunities. So you can't even do like-kind real estate exchange.
Yeah, that was rough.
It took it away from everything.
Only
left it to real estate. Only left it to real estate. Yep.
And then before that, the minor taxes, Bitmain, like I was grabbing T9s like by the boatload. And then at the top of the market, they were going for twice what they paid brand new, and they were minting $1,800 a month at Bitcoin 20K. They had paid themselves off by X's, and I sold them for double what they were, like brand new, right before the crash. And then the taxes started. I'm like, I can't even buy new miners, man. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, but do you understand how that happens? So over time, what they do is they rope people in to then make it lucrative enough to entice the big guys to step in and take over. And this is what's happening literally right now again, only in the DeFi space. This is why you just saw BlackRock dump 50 billion in the USDC like let me just blow a snot rocket over here, something to do.
Yeah. They took a second from buying single family homes by the boatload to drop a little drop into some
pretty much
right, just so that people can't outpace their gains in crypto to go buy those single family
homes. Just to pull a Yuga Labs move and hold 80% of the circulating supply on houses and attempt to get a control of crypto at the same time. It's ridiculous.
That's right.
And real quick, just a quick break. I'm literally just going to tell everyone.
Go ahead,
for everyone in here, I forgot. It's already been 2 hours, and I'm going to stay on. I'm chilling as fuck. But like, for everyone in here that maybe new, maybe whatever, not know what we're talking about, just smash the subscribe button, like and share this stuff. I'm talking about I'm trying to be as honest as I can, and I'm going on every day live at 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'm talking about not the most controversial, but like the stuff that people let blow by in their verbiage. I want to stop everyone, because in crypto there's lots of words, man, and I'm not a technical guy, so I'm like, hold on, tell me what them words mean before you just tell me an algorithmic stablecoin. I want to know what those words mean. Like, I don't know what they mean, right? But like sometimes I get caught in someone says something technical and I just go with it. I'm like, oh, they're smart. But now I'm starting to realize like everyone's different, right? There's a whole like ecosystem to this thing, and I'm just trying to find people that are honest. It's like I just want to find people that are honest.
Dude,
I'm like, fuck all the
anyway
technical shit. I don't care if they're technical, not because no one's honest anymore.
But not just honest.
One super chat. I have to call out my man Nikki B. Bottle Girls sending their love, GymRat.
Shout out to you.
Not 100% sure what that means, but I'm super. That's incredible that you just sent me $100.
That's just some love. That's all that is.
Thank you so much, Nikki B. You're awesome. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to be trying my best every single day to bring good content to this space so we can kind of have a place for some noobs to go.
GymRat, you said honest, right? It's honest, and also like I want to make sure that you're not sipping the Kool-Aid and losing focus.
Right.
You know, like the only Kool-Aid I drink is Richard Hart's Kool-Aid by the freaking gallon. That's it. That's it, bro.
I drink all that.
You got an IV? I need one of those.
I don't even drink his Kool-Aid by the
gallon.
I
drink it, bro.
I
get in arguments. I got 3,000 people in Telegram. It's a consultancy group. DeFi is hell, right? We have this argument all the time because it's the same. It's the same thing you hear about like when anybody ever has a counterpoint, right?
You're just defending Richard Hart, and that's fine. I defend him all the time because nobody has any claim against him that they could actually levy. Yeah. So all they're doing is throwing slander out there, and to not defend Richard Hart in that light is to not defend yourself.
I hate when people don't defend Richard Hart. I hate when people slander him and they just go along with it. I'm like, hold on a second.
Because what you're saying is they can talk shit about you too. They can talk shit about you too.
What bothers me is you're subscribed fully to the Fed,
right?
He copy pastas the Fed and does it in a DeFi way that actually is a better Fed.
And you're mad.
And you're mad.
Word. I don't like that word.
I love your face.
Because they don't know anything about it.
FED is not allowed to be said on
He's so nervous that his channel's going to get rugged.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That
one my channel will get rugged. It's just when.
Nah, if I ain't been rugged, you cannot get rugged. You better follow my lead.
Bro,
I've never been rugged.
I tag the SEC and Janet Yellen while I talk about that.
I did that once. And you know what happened? I got censored. They said your speech was violent.
Don't censor me, dog.
Your speech was violent. I was like, what?
No way, man. I tiptoe around that shit. They just sent me a reply. They're like, hey, what you said was very factually correct. We're glad that you're trying to awaken your fellow human beings. We're sorry that we're a piece of shit government. We can't help you, but we're not going to ban this account. And I'm like, that's all good, bro. Like, I'm doing my part, you're doing your part.
Exactly. Like we can't argue with that, right? The fuck.
Yeah, man, but it is. I think a lot of people that need Richard the most just have zero understanding of how the financial and banking systems work.
So, all right,
And
I've been
you're
thinking
fighting a lot
about
of boogeymen.
this. I've been thinking about this exact issue for the past 24 hours, and not necessarily in the light of Richard Hart, but
Sure.
the whole space. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this space in reality? Right?
Tribalism.
Like, it's not even that. It goes even deeper. The problem with this
lack of
space is
fundamentals.
twofolded. Yes, it's twofolded. You have people that are chasing money because there's money to be made.
Mhm.
And in the same vein, you have people that are chasing money in the same sense that they think it's something like the stock market, but it's not anything like the stock market.
Right.
And there covers everything because they don't know what cryptocurrency is. Because if they did, they would not be buying 13-year-old fucking software or 7 to 8-year-old software. And these are just the facts. Because
without Pulse, you don't have much choice for anything.
You don't have any choice. But I'm talking about from a big holistic perspective. Like people are aping into Ethereum and Bitcoin like it's 2015 and 2010. It's not.
And the thing is, when it comes to when you talk about like proof of work versus proof of stake, I feel like proof of work is the leader, right?
Real quick,
yeah, it's very inefficient.
Out real quick because I think I've only had super chats on for a day or two, so this is kind of odd to me that I'm getting sent all of this on.
Time to retire.
Hey, Johnny Sachs, like your name. Love what you're doing. Love what you've got going on with these streams, GRC. Hey, I really appreciate that. That's amazing. I appreciate that so much. I'm just trying my best. Every day when I wake up, I'm happy as a clam. I can promise you that. Like,
dude, I think this is the fundamental catalyst for Pulse because them super chats are probably gonna go right back in there. Pump my bags, bro.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna be DC. I'll be DCAing for life.
Yeah. Super chat DAO.
Super chat DAO. Wagon DAO. Oh, go on. If you remember where you were at, try to go on because you were killing it.
Yeah, proof of work is superior to proof of stake, but in the exception for Richard Hart, because when you talk about like Byzantine General's problem and how Bitcoin solves it better than anything in the space. Mm-hmm. The problem is it's very energy intensive and not good for the planet, right? So with proof of stake, your stake is what's controlling the difficulty algorithms essentially. And when it comes to stake, anybody can print stake. That's not as easy a resource to print as GPU miners, ASIC miners, etc., etc. So, but the thing is that like what happens is you have Byzantine generals in the space that with proof of stake that can collude and do things that they can't do in proof of work. In proof of work, I mean, you just have Bitmain that you got to worry about in recent history, right? Mm-hmm. Bitmain just controlling, pre-mining, dumping, whatever they're doing. You go on, even Richard said, you go on Nice Hash and rent some hash rate to try and do a 51% attack. All these different things. But the thing is, those are a lot more easily trackable for your average Joe than, okay, how do I figure out what the bots are doing with these validators without spinning up a node myself, scanning the blockchain all day, and rolling out my own scripts? Like, for most people, that's not going to be reality.
Nah.
So, I mean, obviously, for me, I've been 7 years in this game. I have managed to perform without a bot. And it's because I put my Rayman hat on. I try to look at all of it. I try my best. I'm not Rayman, but I try. But the thing is, it's like, it's getting harder to do those things because of what I said this when proof of stake rolled out. This is a problem. But what I like about Pulse is like I know the Byzantine generals and Pulse are going to be lit because it's going to be for the people by the people. Richard ain't going to shit. He has more incentive to go after the rest of crypto than to just eat his community alive.
Which is so weird that's what's like putting people off, is they see it as like an in club, and it's like, dude, this is more decentralized than
people don't get it. People don't get it because they presume things about Richard.
Yeah, that's unfair, and it's true.
That's the problem. People are operating from a basis of monkey see, monkey do. They see their monkeys doing what they are themselves doing, and they think it's the right thing to do. And this is what you see permeating throughout the entire space, right? Because we got to come to the fact and understanding that there's a promise coin space and then there's a crypto space. What we are doing is cryptocurrency. All that other shit, promise coin space. Even Bitcoin is succumbed to that bracket because of what? Never completing the product. That was not supposed to stay that way. Period. And people choose to just ignore that. Well, I mean, people just choose to ignore that, man. You know, it's crazy. People just choose to ignore it. And it's like, you can't ignore it all you want, but we're going to let everybody know.
Yeah. That's why it's such a disservice when Bitcoin maximalists don't address the reality of their own tech. And they just keep pitching these like 2015 narratives of
this just goes
some kind of
to what
programmable
you guys were talking about earlier on in the stream. What sense does it make? These guys must be getting paid off.
No, I feel listen, I feel that strongly, man, because I tell you, I remember
it just doesn't make sense anymore.
I remember a lot of the leaders in this space, and all of a sudden these people are coming up that I don't know.
That's
and
right.
it's just like, dude, I know anybody who's in this space who's relevant. Who's
I've been around since day one.
Who the fuck are you? And why all of a sudden are you being pushed by mainstream media to make something bullish? It makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It really pisses me off sometimes because these are infiltrators and they're getting all this liquidity to do what they usually do. Treat them as exit liquidity and get them wrecked.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit.
Dude, I was calling that out on NVIDIA for like the last 6 months. Just no one gives a fuck. It's like, well, you heard the story that Nancy bought. You knew that there was apparently big money that made moves during a time of scarcity. But then the fact that the news keeps talking about it as being a good pumpable stock for 6 months, it's like, dude, who do you think the exit liquidity is? Like that thing's at an all-time high.
You can't even trust anything in the stock market because the minute, whether it goes IPO or it goes Reg A, okay. Well, if it goes IPO, trust them. Trust the whitelist is half of it: Vanguard, Invesco, BlackRock, etc. Okay. If it goes through Reg A, guess what? There's a bunch of small little companies that are doing their toxic, vulture capital thing. Let me try and get the floor, right? And then what happens when the shit starts to move? Who's picking it up? Invesco, BlackRock, Vanguard, etc. The floor and the circulating supply is owned by people whose interests are tied to a money printer. So if they lose, they just print more money and make you lose by cheating.
Yeah.
And it's prevalent. You look at the top.
It's legal. It's the way it works. It's the way
literally the way it works.
It's how it has to work. It's like, okay.
It's crazy. And
Dude,
and nobody
if you can wrap your head around that, get the fuck out of the stock.
And don't even get me started on options. The decorrelated trading volume, okay, is decorrelated, number one. Okay, and number two, guess who's on the floor of that volume? If you ate in too much, guess who's getting sold off on high leverage as well. You're gonna go from I put $1,700 on something to now I have $50.
Whoops.
Just like GymRat was saying yesterday.
And all it took was a one little rug pull by the centralized book order.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
who just happens to have all that data sitting in front of them?
The only time you can move in the stock market is on open. 9:30. Okay, you have a half-hour window.
Yeah, 10:30.
You gotta get in there while the chop is still trying to settle out. Once those arbitrage bots reset and they see who's sold and who took profit, they will start moving, and it is impossible to beat those bots. Impossible. You won't win.
Literally impossible. They're controlling the
even with a platform like Lightspeed, you could be direct level. You could pay the $3,500 up to NASDAQ level 3, and they'll
just reorder the transactions.
Yeah, or they'll just straight up cheat and borrow 125% of the shares, or do some straight.
Do you guys understand why that happens? Because nobody actually gets to see the actual flow of the market anymore.
Yeah, it's not transparent.
Unless you're paying for dark pool data. Right, you don't actually see anything, and this is what I try to educate people on with respect to crypto. Like, crypto exists for a very specific reason, and it's not because legacy finance is great. So, trying to take all the stupid shit that they do over there and trying to replicate it here, guess what? I'm a shit on it.
Yeah,
I'm a shit on
dude,
you.
I don't like it.
Never mind getting wrecked. I am just going to make it my fucking business to shit on you.
Thank you.
Because
that's what a freedom fighter sounds like, bro.
Yeah, we're
that's
not
what reality sounds like, yo.
Yeah, I'm not here for that.
Too. That's why I tweet at Janet Yellen. And guess who actually went kind of nice to
Everything
crypto
I'm
in the last
doing
6
is to
hours.
usurp this shit.
But
Like
I keep
literally.
saying,
what's wrong with you?
we should do a lobby DAO. So every time somebody pays her $8 million to do
Don't
some
even
Fed
worry.
pro Fed shit, we pay her
We got
9 to shut
something
the hell up.
for 'em. We got something for 'em, and it's coming in hot.
Let's get so much money that we can pay them more than they're getting paid by the
That's
other
what I'm
companies.
That's how
saying.
you
Just
fix it.
shut up.
That's how progress happens. That's how progress happens.
Like,
Because
oh,
they're
you got
just
8 mil?
bureaucracy.
We'll give you
They're
9.
designed to slow
Probably
down
people in the
slow
chat
down
got a
random
couple
acts.
extra Shibu, you know?
The job is just to disrupt society long enough to avoid a takeover. Like an Elon Musk in history is very, very scary for governments because he can influence a lot of people, and then the governments lose that power dynamic. So when they can disrupt us and begin to acquire all of the land and property while they build infrastructure that benefits their ability to acquire more land and property.
But at the same time,
that's
Elon Musk,
the
you
game.
look at that, you look at the asset, right? Tesla ran to 1,200 twice. It split and then ran 1,200 again. Guess who owns most of that? Vanguard.
Right, but
I was
right.
actually
I'm not
looking
saying
up-
Elon's like some.
I was
untouched
actually
thing.
looking up
But I hear you.
ownership a few minutes ago. Let me pull this shit up. As it turns out, that Elon owns most of Tesla. Where was I? Yeah, hold on, give me a
It
second.
was roughly 40%.
He owns most of
And
Tesla.
SpaceX is still private.
Yeah, SpaceX is
And
private.
that's a
So I
trillion-dollar
was trying to
industry
make a
that's in
point. I was trying to make a point
by itself.
on Wake Up X where it's like, well, we don't actually know how he's going to pay for it or who's actually going to buy it. We just know Elon Musk himself is making the bid. But until the deal is finalized and we see who actually is like the executing owner or whatever, like who's the ultimate beneficial owner,
Who holds the
yeah, we don't actually know. So for now, Tesla, according to this website, whalerswisdom.com, where you can get like the latest 13F filings and 13Ds, 13Gs.
Nice.
I'll put this in. Hold on, where's this thing? Yeah, I'll drop it in here.
Oh, it's been a while since I read SEC filings, bro. I can't do it.
Yeah, I just.
Oh my god, man!
I've
And you
only
thought that you were figuring shit out.
They make them hard to read on purpose.
Well,
dude,
yeah.
You thought it was worth the time. Now it's
Yeah,
like,
bro.
what? Fake
I'll stick-
internet
I'll-
money
I'll
is worth
stick with-
infinity times more.
I'll stick with white papers, bro.
So
Yeah, man. I'll read
as
anyone's
of-
horrible white paper.
As of December 31st, Musk apparently owns 23% of Tesla. Straightforward. However, Vanguard, BlackRock owns 11% between both of them. But then you got Susquehanna behind them. A bunch of other Wall Street players, right? So they're all on the same team. It's not really much of a difference.
Right. Yeah, I mean they're all on the same team.
Yeah, they play ping pong, and guess what?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know who was seat on every one of them? Horowitz.
Yeah, and not even ping pong, but more so, they ride each other's coattails because they're all making money.
Yeah.
They're all making money. Ain't nobody gonna shit on anybody else's parade when they're all eating.
Yeah.
Right, and this also goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Now, for as far as Twitter goes, apparently as of right now, Vanguard and Morgan Stanley own 10.3 and 8.75% between both of them, respectively, with BlackRock and State Street third and fourth, or actually fourth and fifth at 6.5% and 4.5%, both respectively as well. And then you have Elon Musk in there with 9%. But again, all the people surrounding Musk on the ownership list, all the same players. And this is the thing people have to understand. This is why when we're talking about like marketing and promoting Hex and stuff like that, or just promoting crypto in general, right, through their mediums that they control, that's what you need to understand. You don't get to actually control the message. They do. It's not your medium, it's their medium. So if you want to put out a message, well, guess what you need? Your own bullhorn, your own medium, because otherwise your voice is muted.
Are you saying when decentralized social media?
That's one way to put it. When decentralized media in general. I mean, everybody relies on the same faucets of information. YouTube, Twitter. Everybody wants decentralized everything, but nobody wants to be the first person to take a step in that direction. For example, I told Richard months ago Get your ass on Odyssey. When the fuck did he do it after getting kicked off of YouTube fucking 3 times this year? But I told your ass last year. So when are we gonna be the leaders and stop?
I think GymRatCrypto could do it, but it's
no.
almost
It's
like
not just
becoming a
GymRat.
sacrificial lamb, man.
Here's the thing: it's not just GymRat. It's not
I'm saying
just
he would
Richard.
start a movement.
It's not just us. It's everybody.
Yeah, but you gotta have.
We all gotta want it.
But
this is the thing:
you
we all
just
gotta
can't
want
let
it.
bad information slide. Like that's like my whole thing. Like I just don't. No one speaks to me that lets bad information go through their lips because they know that me and Sam just don't like it. Like we just don't like when people are fluffy.
And
we don't like when there's no detail. When there's no detail, when it's fluffy, when it's imaginary, when it's like future projections of things that no one can quantify. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like I got no time for all that shit because we got to make sure everyone's not getting hacked or something like, like that will be like the episode that I'll do, right?
For me, man,
dude, there's so many dudes getting hacked right now. That's shit that people actually want to watch. You know how many guys are in their house right now? Like, I'm too afraid to ask the question about security because I don't want to feel like an idiot. And
dude, somebody's in my network like freaking twice a week at this point. But good luck. Good luck. Guess what? I got so many VMs on different devices. Good luck.
Well, not you, but I'm talking about randos, total plebs, like guys coming in, people's parents, like. It's just like they want to see like, oh, can this dude ask the questions that nobody wants to ask, which is like, the questions that noobs ask, because I don't care about I don't have much intellectual integrity. I've never cared about that. I'm just like, it doesn't matter to me if someone's smart or not, like because smart people do stupid shit all the time.
Intellectual integrity is not being smart. It's being true to true thought. That's what intellectual integrity is, and that does not exist in this space, period.
That's exactly why.
That actually doesn't exist in the world. It doesn't exist in academia. It doesn't exist in education. It doesn't exist any fucking where. There's very few places where that should actually exist.
Wales, you don't deal in absolutes, do you? I love it.
Only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Mm-hmm. Yes! This is the right room, bro. This is my future family, bro.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Dude,
we
awesome.
try to keep it factly over here. No bullshit.
It's rare that anyone mentions a guy named anything Satoshi from the space that he was like, they were like, you gotta get last night.
There's that one in the 100 that say Satoshi because they believe in the philosophy and they're not just pimping an asset that isn't like a.
No, I get
it. So I should talk about the name, right? Because the name was it was ironic because when I found myself in Telegram with a whole bunch of degenerates as like Bitcoin got this next level of adoption, the Wall Street bets, the GameStop shit, all that shit happened, and then we all ended up at Wall Street bets, and from there we ended up on in the crypto version of those, right? And there were so many of them. There were so many of them, right?
I respect that.
That's disgusting.
It was a constant rug show. So what did I do? I was like, all right, well, fuck all this street bet shit. I'm going to the Boulevard. So it just kind of spit in their face. I changed my name on Telegram to Satoshi Boulevard because like, fuck a street bet, bro. We're doing bougie fractal arbitrage.
Bougie?
Yeah, bougie as fuck. We ain't doing no fucking. We ain't rolling the dice on the corner, bro. Fuck that shit. This is calculated.
That's a good one.
It's calculated tactical, bro.
I mean, it's how it works, bro. It's not hard to see. That's for sure. Not hard to see. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. For me, it's all about just trying to spread the word of crypto because so many people just won't. Where are they going to get the news, man? Like they can't turn on the TV and learn about the relationship between money and crypto.
Yeah, we have an obligation. So, we even I said this
exactly.
a couple of
it's
times.
A human obligation.
Yeah, it's a couple of times. Also, you have local political opportunities. If you're a leader and you find 100%. Your way in crypto, you should be finding common ground with maybe a couple of those guys hold crypto. You get in with them and really start to shake it up from the ground, because once we're able to really disrupt the local government, then as unison across the board, because we're all from everywhere, right? I mean, I talk with people from the other side of the world. I talk with people from Cali. I mean, just Meme NFT, the team alone. You got Cali, you got Chicago, you got Michigan, you got literally all over the country. Even got somebody from Indonesia that mods the chat, bro. Makes a killing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is if we take our efforts and try to focus it on our local government, try to really like turn the page. Like, okay, you're a politician. I can't stand you, but like you need to realize what's happening because it's gonna affect you as well. They're not gonna give a shit about you because at a certain point you're just a pawn, and this is a game for the king and queen. And if you don't do something, you'll never reach the other side of that board and become a queen yourself because you have the opportunity as a pawn. You just go, and if you go and if you don't die, you're gonna get flipped upside down, and you get to go anywhere on the board you fucking want.
Yep.
And we have to enable that in everyone and realize like, yeah, we've been pawns this whole time, but there's a lot of power in pawns. You know what you're
man, especially it's like, hey, don't beat yourself up for all that time that you think was wasted. That was time you were making it across the board and haven't died yet. Like, welcome to waking up. Like, you're so much closer to being useful.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, imagine I literally could be here acting like I wasted the past 20 plus years of my life, but instead what I'm doing is I'm educating all of you guys, whoever, however, and that's it. Whoever wants to learn is going to learn if they come across me, and that's what everybody should be trying to do. In whatever way they can do it, it doesn't matter. Look at how GymRat does it. He doesn't know shit, and he's learning and forcing your ass to learn with him.
Has some of the best content ever that's been talked about in crypto for like the last month and a half because he just invites good people to talk about it. And then
all you gotta fucking do. It's not hard, right? GymRat is not fucking hard, bro.
No, it's not hard. You just have to do professional work. You have to make sure your stuff is up to specs as far as like a channel. Other than that, you just want teaching people stuff isn't hard because nobody does too much learning anymore. I don't have to teach Satoshi or Whales or Orca anything, of course, but
no, you will.
Still learning.
No, but you know what I mean. You don't need it. But the people that are not in crypto at all, like I'm trying to change my community.
Dude, there's too much information. We need all the ears in the world. Like, we need people learning all the things.
The only thing that I know is that I know nothing.
That's it.
Same.
Yeah, man.
That's it. Preach. I literally say that like at least once a stream, bro. Anytime I'm streaming, I mean, that's a fact people have to come to terms with. Whoever thinks they know.
The scariest thing about the unknown for me, dude, is that I get so much good information in my life from people that I had no business bumping into, and like just random crossroads of information on the internet where I'm like, really? That changed my life that much? And I would have missed it. 99% of my life,
it's almost like it's predestined. Sometimes.
Yeah, let me tell you guys how I found Hex, because this is exactly that, and people have to understand this is how real it is. I was not even learning about crypto when I found Hex. I was doing nothing with it. In fact, I was literally learning about the domain name system from a technical aspect, back end aspect.
Nice.
Not even like I was literally educating myself on coding type shit, not anything crypto. And what pops up? This guy that I recognized from fucking the early Bitcoin days, and that's why I clicked on the video. That was it.
Yeah.
But blockchain made my JavaScript so much better, bro. I used to hit my head on JavaScript all the time, bro. And now I'm just awesome, like, yeah, I get it.
That's so cool.
But sometimes it takes a different perspective to help you connect a dot elsewhere. And this is something I learned as I was coming up trading and working on Wall Street and trying to understand all of these moving parts that we got to account for, because it's like Orca said earlier, we're not just dealing in a one-dimensional reality. Everything affects whatever you are doing. And this is why, and this is why I don't understand how people can have no interest in what's going on outside of their four doors or four walls, excuse me. Like, everything that happens affects you, period, whether you want it to or not. I mean, fucking Iraq, Iran, or Baltimore, it's gonna fucking affect you. Because
the time in which it occurs.
Yeah, because you're just saying okay if you say nothing.
Yeah, and you don't have to let everything go. Like, everyone's just like, oh, that's how things are. That's how things are. That's how things are.
That's bullshit.
I hate when people say that.
Nothing. Not only are they Satoshi Boulevard just dropped the hardest alpha that I've heard like in 5 years in crypto. Start local, man. Just, dude, you can just walk up to. You can find these people's names on the internet. You can write letters. If you write a handwritten letter with ink on paper and you fold it, and then you put it in an envelope and you address it to the name of your local representative, I promise you it will reach them in person.
Yeah, not just representatives, everyone, dude. I bought a food truck with crypto profits, right? So my goal is My goal is to just be
That's what my
there
brother wants to do.
every day with I got merch for like every project that I love. I gotta get Hex. Like, how do I get it? Because I gotta get.
I'll link you up with Motley on hexmerch.com. I think that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to roll up with like, all right, you're here to do business. You're here to get some food. You're here to get some ice cream, whatever. And they look at the hat. They look at the shirt. Like, what's that? I'm like, it's crypto, baby.
Right.
What you trying to learn today? What you trying to learn today?
Pictures of that shit. Make sure you take some pictures of that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what that.
That would blow up on Instagram.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you on IG?
Like sorta. It's like my personal stuff.
For the food truck. Get it.
Oh no, I have one.
Instagram
Oh no,
no-brainer.
wait. Yeah, I gotta do all that stuff. I'm rolling it out now.
If you have any questions about any of that stuff,
yeah, bro.
Any about like the Instagram or anything like that, like I post all that stuff, so you can always ask.
What are you gonna be cooking then? What are you doing?
So immediately we're outfitted for ice cream. So
nice.
Dude, the crypto.
Everybody likes ice cream, bro. Who doesn't like ice cream?
So cool, dude. That's so.
Are you gonna play music?
Yo, that's
like
a cash cow out here in New York in the fucking summer.
Well, the thing is, I'm planning on leaving New York because it's a rug. So I'm gonna take it someplace where I can do it 365 days a year and then just expand into like food. I'm gonna try and do like my wife makes like the best sourdough loaf you've ever had.
Nice.
So I'm trying to pump out loaves, trying to do sandwiches, all that stuff. But that's the end game. We'll see what happens. But it's gonna be a fun little journey. But because it's all like paid for by crypto, I don't have any debts. I'm gonna try and corner the market and see what I can do to get you something, man. It's gonna be cool.
That's what's up, bro. Congratulations, man.
That's awesome, dude. That's just cool. You know, like that's a cool, fun thing that it's just like. I love that. You know, I love that. You probably don't have to do that. You could have done a million different kind of things. But then the fact that it'll be like the first food truck that advertises crypto or whatever. Like
I'm trying to get crypto. Like I don't want fiat. Like if you don't got crypto, you can't have my ice cream.
Oh, dude, we need to cover that. Dude, that could be a really good news segment in like in your local area. Like you could probably get someone to like write about that at some point. Like anyone who rolls up to your thing that like if you could tell they're a writer or something for because I'm sure a lot of people in your area do that stuff.
Yeah.
Writers.
Dude, I'll write it. I'll go straight up.
Yeah, I'll write it. Send some pictures around.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Tell me when you get your food truck going, bro.
Just give me the name of your food truck.
I'm hungry as hell, too. I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn.
We'll get fucking Forbes out there and talk about ice cream and crypto, bro.
I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? So they're gonna.
That's why I did it. And then I did the math.
Loves it, man.
I did the math on the margins. I did the math on the margins. Then I realized, like, all right, in a hyperinflationary event, most markets are done. I came from the wedding market. I was a wedding cinematographer for years. That market's dead. I did photo booths for years. That market's dead. And I was like, well, what's gonna be good in a hyperinflationary scenario? Well, families are always gonna take their kids out for ice cream. So that's where I'm gonna start. Path of least resistance. And we'll see how it goes.
No crypto, no ice cream.
No crypto, no ice cream, bro.
Bars.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Salads and crypto. I don't know about that one.
Salads and crypto.
I don't know about that one. But ice cream.
He's the hero crypto needs because we're all like degenerate fucks, not unhealthy as hell, clogged arteries. We need a salad.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, man. I don't know. Since we don't like it, that's probably the right route.
Well, you can eat all that stuff in moderation, too. There's a space for moderation when you're eating ice cream, for certain. I could eat ice cream every day. It wouldn't change probably my physique too much. I'd have to adjust a few things.
Challenge accepted.
I mean, it's gonna be hard telling my kids that they're limited to once a week ice cream, and all we do is
once a day. Come on.
Yo, look, when I eat
if someone's good, more is better, man.
I just don't.
When I was a kid, I just ate pizza and chicken tenders.
I grew up on McDonald's, so
Same.
I also grew up in the hood, so it's all you really had to eat.
Let's see. A meal out for us is typically Chinese. We really didn't do McDonald's. Burger King and all that, like that wasn't really a thing for us where we grew up.
Well, on the go, it was just like
the go, yeah, because that's all it was. Yeah. On the go, when you was going out of state, that's all you're gonna.
Oh, bullish just that beef patties, hell yeah, with the cocoa bread. Oh.
Yeah, beef patties too. Yep.
Boom,
You guys have any good jerk chicken places around you?
You got a jerk truck around me, bro.
Oh my god, dude! I go there, get the cabbage and all the. Oh my god, it's so good all the time.
Just steamed vegetables, bro. It ain't even nothing special.
I love how I pivoted the whole conversation from crypto to food. I guess we're getting hungry.
He's a marketing genius. He's a marketing genius.
This happens all the time. Don't worry.
If I ever make it down to New York, because I find that I would like to come down there sometime, which might not be for a little while.
Dan, what are you, Canadian?
I'd love to. No, I'm in the DMV. I'm near Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
So if I ever come up there, I'll vlog and you can do an interview, and I'll go to your food truck.
Hell yeah.
That'd be dope.
I'm with it, bro.
I'm
it's on the house, baby. It's on the house. I already know you got crypto, so we're good.
I'm not giving you hex for nothing.
Oh,
you better don't even accept hex. So you ain't getting
no ice cream. No hex. No ice cream. I want to see a 15-year steak right now. If you don't have a 15-year steak, I'm sorry, bro.
No ice cream.
Oh, that would be dope, dude. That'd be dope. Like,
we need proof of share, sir.
Demanding 15 years.
No, you get a discount. You get a discount if you have a 5555.
Discount.
Right. We need proof of T-share, sir.
Yo.
Yeah. You don't have a Quattro Cinco? No ice
cream. That's not a bad idea, yo.
You can make videos of that too.
You get 5.555% off if you have a 15-year.
That's not a bad way to promote hex, too, brother.
That's so sick.
I think every entrepreneur in the hex community would be well received if they incorporated some aspect of their profit being tied into the value proposition of hex, whether it's creating a stake for your business or paying your employees or receiving payments in the form of. There's so many ways that you can play it, and there's so many marketing opportunities with the numbers, 3.69, 5555, whatever. Yeah. So it's so weird that we don't see more of that. I think it's like, can you put like 3.69% of the.
I think it's because of the stigma behind people accepting hex for retail transactions, because the assumption is businesses are just going to sell it.
Sure.
For fiat.
Well, yeah, I feel like that, we need to disrupt that whole thinking of fiat as a way to cash out to begin with. The way it all works is if we're all in crypto, because then it's like, oh, I'll give you some hex for that ether, or I'll swap for that salon, or do whatever, and then we trade with that, and then we're just all moving
in those ratios, and not in dollar terms ever
again.
Bro. It takes us to do it in order to take it there. It's not going to happen because they said so. That's a fact that people just have a hard time.
Well, the hard part too is like stable coins are just so goddamn toxic. I'd prefer a rebase protocol over a stable coin any day, but that would just confuse the shit out of people.
Yeah. Imagínate.
But I'm an altruist, man.
Yeah. I do push-ups all the time.
Everyone drop down 15. Get that blood flowing, or you miss some alpha.
It's the best way to get alone, too. I remember when I was out of shape.
I'll knock them out. I got earbuds in, so.
Drop it. I'm gonna do my. You guys don't have to do it. I'm gonna do it because I'm actually.
Oh, bro.
I ain't
doing shit.
So like, nah, I ain't doing.
Yeah, I gotta go out soon and just deadlift a 400-pound generator off of trailer. So I'm getting my workout in. Trust me.
Yeah. Do you wear back brace when you do that?
I don't need to, bro. I know how to lift. I know how to lift,
dude. That's heavy though. It's shit.
Yeah, I know how to lift, bro. I'm good.
I know.
I'm 6'3", almost 300 pounds, bro. If you look at my spine, I have like bone spurs that are looking to fuse. I'm good, bro. I don't feel that. Oh. I know how to treat my back, man. My chiropractor will fix it if I fuck it up, anyways. So.
I got the backup.
Yeah, actually, it's my ankle that screwed up my back. I was deadlifting whatever for years, no problem. I lifted it, no problem. The minute I broke my ankle, bro, like I got back problems.
You broke an ankle?
Yeah. I tore like 5 ligaments off, straight off the bone, bro. I used to run 8 miles a week. Now I can't walk down the hallway, bro. I couldn't walk for like 6 months, bro. It's crazy.
Oh my god, how miserable is that mentally?
It's so
That's horrible.
Fuck.
Dude, that happened to me a couple times. Injuries, and I'm just like that. You don't realize how psychologically bad that is when you're an active person. I'm pretty active, like even just talking, walking, going around. I was just like,
oh man,
I couldn't even
Dude,
use
I
the
was
bathroom.
almost as skinny as you, bro. And now I can't. Now that I can't run, it sucks, man. I used to.
Alan Fizz, oh man, my man's dogs are forever on the push-up position. What?
Mitch
Oh,
Hedberg.
oh, I get it. I guess that's thanks for the $5, man. I don't
Comedian from Minnesota.
necessarily understand.
It's just a quote. Like
It's
you
a
be
quote.
all right type of shit. Like you can do some push-ups, you'd be all right. If the dogs are always in push-up position, you can do some push-ups.
Oh, I get it. Wow. But that,
It was
see?
actually better that you guys didn't do your push-ups because that way you were sitting down on the earth, which made it a little bit heavier when I was knocking those out. So if anything, we accomplished, a little bit better benefit for me.
You silly, bro.
Damn, it's 1:40 p.m. already. Holy moly, we
Damn,
went
bro.
hard, bro.
They be flying when you're talking good shit,
The
man.
whole day.
That's how it is, man.
That was a good combo, man, for real.
Yeah. I mean, and this is why it's like this. These aren't just good conversations; they're important conversations because people need to understand the significance of the problem with fiat, the problem with finance as it currently exists and as we know it, and why crypto exists. People forget why crypto exists. It exists to step away from all those things that haven't done us any favors. And people just seem to want to replicate that for some ungodforsaken reason. I don't get it.
They're trying, man. I mean, you get all these little pools that are VC backed by the same VCs that are running the show on the legacy.
Precisely, yeah.
What?
Exactly.
Like, but think about it. Like Horowitz has the seed on almost any like centralized like Coinbase, with an OpenSea. You could pull it up. I think what's his Solana,
FTX,
all of it. I mean Friedman alone. Don't even get me started on Friedman, man. And arbitrage.
That dude's a plan. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, man, they're not crypto.
A bad plan.
If anyone has to leave at any moment, feel free. I know everyone's busy and y'all have families and stuff, but
yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon. But
GymRat does not have a family, and GymRat does not have any responsibilities. So
GymRat
if you don't have anything going on, I can hang out.
I'm just gonna sit on here and talk to people for a while. You guys can
talk.
talk.
As I have a ton of family and a ton of responsibilities, but the great part is crypto allows me to just sit here all day with you. So.
Hey, it's probably dude. That's really what I push to people too. Like, F all the money, all the stuff, blah blah blah. You get time with your family back.
Yeah.
That's how you get. But that's why crypto is so important.
I'm gonna lay it out. So I told you I got the food truck. Why did I get the food truck? I told my wife. I said, listen, you can't be working 40 hours a week anymore. I said I've been free. I've been self-employed for almost 15 years before I got into crypto. So for me, it's like you need to be a self-starter. You need to change your mentality about how to accomplish these goals. It's like, well, what did you do? And she's like, I used to manage an ice cream shop. I'm like, ice cream! Hey, here we go. And so I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. And then and it was great is that you can work and still be with the kids. The kids can actually benefit from that. They're learning business.
Yeah.
They're learning how to participate in these things. And what's great is they're homeschooled, so it's actually a part of the credits. It's also part of the credits.
Yeah.
So you're gonna learn business and you're gonna get credit for it.
Yeah, resumes and stuff.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I don't even want them to have a resume. I want them by the time that they're of age that they're good. Like, all right, we got you a condo. Maybe you're renting it out, or maybe you're living in it. Whatever it is, it's paying for itself. You maybe got whatever you want to do is your passion, whatever you love. We're gonna get you set up and make sure that you know the marketing end, you know how to structure yourself, and that's it. You're just gonna do that. If my family had done that for me when I was younger, I probably would have been so much farther along.
Different lifestyle, different for sure, bro. Like I've had to figure out how to live from scratch because we didn't have no proper guidance.
Yeah, even now, like I get criticisms all the time. Like my wife, her family is always like, "Well, what are you guys gonna do? The kids should go back to school. You guys need to get stability and a job." I'm like, bro, you know how much I was the 1% for about half a second last year. It's like look at my W-2s, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I almost made it.
Hey man, I almost made it last year. You better step off.
Yeah, like shut up, man.
I'm coming up.
just because I'm in the market took half a shit and I got a whole bunch of assets that aren't liquid doesn't mean that I'm broke, bro. Like, chill out.
All my shit's stage 555. I ain't broke.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm actually a
Dude, I
billionaire
was
in
just gonna
training.
say,
Wait
dude,
for
it's
me.
just a loss on paper, dog.
it's not even a loss, bro.
It's not even a
What the
law.
hell?
It's
What the
not
hell?
liquid.
Like, you know, my entries.
I'm
What
only
the
upset
hell,
that on
man?
paper.
Not even a
dog.
loss, bro.
Oh,
That's so funny.
Man.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
god,
over
this
clowns,
has been absolutely amazing. We're doing wait, else you're gonna like this. We're doing a Ledger versus Trezor, Papa versus McCoy,
Oh yeah, that should be interesting.
but it's just more like a fun talk now.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
debate or anything.
Not
like
real. It's not a real debate. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we're just gonna talk about why one versus the other. You know, there's always a lot of people.
Pros versus cons from a security.
The 25th word is huge, though.
Man, who
To
gives
some
a
people,
shit?
I don't. To some people,
Do you understand why? Do you
A lot
understand
of people
why?
love it.
just because of the variability aspect, so it would be
Yeah,
different. from
because it
most.
makes it that much more difficult for somebody to brute force break into their wallet.
And
It's
that
just
sounds
security.
good.
Yeah, it is good. It's just a math thing.
And then, real quick, we got the launch of Maxi was announced yesterday on
For
Gold
Friday.
Key- on excuse me, but
No, it was announced yesterday.
they announced it yesterday, and it's on the 16th, which is
Friday.
Friday.
Oh no! Isn't it for tomorrow? I thought it was for tomorrow.
Maybe the 15th. Here, let me
I
look. real
thought Bob Lagai said the 15th.
Here, let me go to the.
tomorrow.
Let me go to
I know it's
the.
for a Friday. I don't know the date though, so I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on the number.
It's all good either way. I am just looking real quick.
all right, I gotta go
Because I thought
fix.
it said
China wired my trailer, so I gotta go fix it.
Uh-oh. Have fun,
fair
bro.
enough.
Imports,
Can't
you
be
know what I'm
getting
saying?
crypto hacked from your food truck.
No, they just wired it. Like they put a 208, but they wired it 110. So now I gotta be an electrician
Oh
for
my
a day.
god.
So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
you know,
It
what
was
happens
great
when you
to meet
import
you,
shit,
though.
bro? But I
Remove
got
a
it so
hat.
cheap, it's worth it, you know?
remove a hat and throw a ground in there, and you're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna fry the whole thing up, but it's all right.
It was wonderful to meet you, dude. Your insights
No,
are
likewise.
wonderful.
Anytime, like let's do it. You know, Bullish kind of
Awesome.
got me like really like pumped about starting a YouTube channel myself. So I think I'm gonna
Hell yeah.
Bullish
I'm
is
gonna
a
do it,
talent,
man.
talent scout in his own right. He can snipe
bro.
that shit out. So that means he's just telling you that you would do well, just naturally. It sounds like your personality, you like to talk. It seems like, which is half the battle. It really is.
Yeah. I don't know when to shut the fuck up.
No, that's like this. That's where they put
You don't
people
have
like
to,
us. That's where
The
they
news
put people
doesn't.
like us. People that don't know how to shut the f up. They just put them on screen all day and they talk.
Yeah, man.
That's our job.
Well, anytime you guys want to powwow, man, I'm down, man. Let me know.
Peace.
All right, I'm gonna need you back in 3 hours. So
Chop.
have a great day, dude. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we're on the 3 p.m. block, so
Wait, so how long do you usually run? All day? You just...
Well, no, it just depends on how I'm feeling. If I have a certain subject that's kind of open ended, it just doesn't matter. And if people want to talk,
I got you.
again, I don't have any.
Producer.
I can just do as I wish. I guess it's kind of odd, but I know. I just
Well,
like staying on right now, and I just started this like 40 days ago, 40 days ago now.
nice.
So I've just been really just learning, like just taking it all in, trying to feel it out, because when Pulse Chain comes out, I really want to be able to provide people a place where they can feel like, I'm going to answer the questions that I'm asking in real time, like with people that know what they're talking about. So it's going to be like step by step, make sure people don't get hacked, make sure people don't get scammed. If they want to listen, obviously most people don't want to listen.
Yeah, it's you could say not your keys, not your crypto, so they're blue in the face. I told my chiropractor for years, I was like, yo, get that shit off of Coinbase. What happened? He got SMS phish. I'm like, you didn't have 2-factor up? You had SMS verification? Like, bro. He got cleaned out like something like 20K he put in there. But he was holding Cardano, so it's probably gonna be a rug anyways. Stop.
Brutal.
Yeah, when someone tells you they're holding a big bag of ADA, you're just like, damn, dude, you didn't have to tell me that. No, I don't even like it.
You didn't have to tell me that.
I'm like, you could have just kept it at hello. How you doing?
Yeah, but now that I said Cardano, Hoskinson's gonna tag me on something, and just like the bots are like up for. I don't know, man. He's got some serious. they got some serious social media scraping bots, bro. I mentioned it on a space yesterday, and immediately got this like Cardano like tag thing. Even MetaMask doing the same shit. I commented on something for MetaMask, and I was like, yeah, they're so broke, they got to spin up a degen token like a true degen. And then what happened? MetaMask support came in and tagged and said, if you have an issue, please contact customer support. I'm like, what the?
You can't say MetaMask. You cannot type MetaMask into Twitter. It will. You'll get 100 bots right away.
Dude, it's crazy.
You almost can't even say wallet or anything. Like,
Dude, you can't.
they're
It's
getting
like
really
you
aggressive.
got to be careful, and that's why this show. That's literally why I'm doing it every day. Because guys like me that are coming in off of like a different lifestyle, no computers, none of that shit. It's like they need to know stuff like kind of specifically.
Yep.
If some of them actually want to learn, it's just like sometimes hopping into the middle of a really deep talk about liquidity, they're just like, I'll never get there. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, I don't understand what the hell they're talking about.
I mean, for anybody's in here who doesn't, it's like 1 for 1, right? Like if I have, GymRatCrypto coin, and I have, and I want to go and get, and I want to go, right? And I want to get Orca coin, right? There has to be somebody who owns both to be able to do a trustless transaction, right? So liquidity just means I have enough of everything that, if you need it, you give me your coin, I'll take the coin that for the other guy, and since I own now 4 of those coins, I give you 2, but I got to take a piece on the way out. That's liquidity. It's basically liquidity. It's 1 for 1, man. Just think about it. In order for me to send something to you without knowing who you are, and I have to trust you even on a trustless network, then there has to be a provider that owns what you have and what they have and are able to assume custody and then give it to you for whatever percentage they charge for doing that service. That's liquidity, man.
That's pretty good.
I'm sure there's some people in the chat that really appreciated that tidbit. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was my last tidbit.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Very dope.
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
have
Satoshi's a boss,
is there any community news or anything like as far as?
I was just thinking in my head because people were talking about the Maxi DAO down in the chat. I was like, man, it'd be fun if the OA filled up any gaps between what people raised and what's remaining between a bigger pays better bonus maximum.
Oh,
because it would just, it just still.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys are real smart. I can ask you whatever.
Yield on it, but it would also benefit all of the other Hexa kids that pooled their resources. But I don't know. It'd be an interesting statement, I guess, for the OA. Like, is that a defensive move that it's just trying to make sure that nobody like bigger pays better yield catches up to it? Is it? I don't know. There's a lot of different angles you could look at it.
Yeah. So let me ask a couple questions to you guys now that I can. So
I'll think about it.
So Maxi, right? We all know that's coming tomorrow. We're all very excited.
Allegedly,
I think it's pretty. Oh, you know what I mean, of course. Like we're just tomorrow's the date or whatever, and you don't necessarily have to put in anything into the contract in order to like buy Maxi or anything. So you could just buy Maxi, right? If you think that that would be a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just I'm curious to know maybe game plans. You don't have to say anything super specific. You can kind of just give like, I don't understand really like what's the better way to do it. Like, do you just put in money or does it just depend where you are in life and what you kind of want?
Let me help you understand.
So I was going to say that last one.
Yeah. So how is Maxi going to come into existence in the first place? Somebody has to go and say, I want Maxi to exist, because they have to give a hex in order for that to happen in the first place. So you have to literally go to their page where you can go and do that and submit however many hex you want, and however many hex you submit will be the equivalent number of Maxi you will get back. So that's step one. So after that, somebody would decide to provide liquidity. And that is when you can go into the open market and then buy it.
It'd be interesting to see, like, if people want to put Maxi on the open market at like a 2x value of hex of its concurrent, like, day, like marginal APY.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1 value, right?
So tell me some of the like the price action functions on the token, the maxi token? Like what?
It should be
Why?
the same price as Hex for the first few days. It shouldn't be different. Until they staking and there's enough
So the one
yield
for
in
one.
there. Yeah,
So
it should
then,
be 1-to-1.
well,
What up, homie? It should really be 1-to-1.
right. Yeah. So yeah, no, that makes sense. And then yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's a crazy time.
I know. I
There's a lot
get
of-
why it's
Hey,
confusing to you guys because you're not used to seeing this kind of shit.
Yeah, because it's too community like driven. It seems like it's odd that there's no like clear
Oh no, it's clear. It's just not clear to you.
incentivization.
No, it's clear. It's just not clear to you. It's
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
to me. I'm just
yeah.
not talking about it because I'm not doing nobody no more favors.
Okay, well that's totally fair too.
But
Like,
but I'm telling you, worth getting.
that I appreciate that information very much.
Yeah, like I've said that. I'm not.
No, yeah, and you totally you made that clear to me.
Yeah.
So I was locked in. That's the only reason I'm locked in on it. Like,
Yeah. I don't mind explaining some technical aspects. No, of course.
Yeah, and I understand the value prop. Like I understand like going into the staking pool and then accumulating that max value for that longest period of time. It's just so powerful. But I mean, I'm kind of confused about like it's just a 30-day, it's a 15-day staking. I mean, a 15-day period where you can put your hex in,
right,
and then it's done, right?
That's right. Then
it's
all
done,
the
it's locked and
all the
it's
maxi that's gonna exist. That's it.
oh wow. Oh, so wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So this is why I'm trying to. Well, I'm not trying to explain nothing, but to those that are willing to listen and understand, the reason you want to get maxi is because there's only going to be so many of them, and that's literally like having a liquid stake. You can't have a liquid stake, but that's basically
shit, dude.
what it is.
What the fuck? That's
See,
crazy.
now you get it because I said this before, but you didn't get it. But
That
now
makes
you,
more sense to me.
yeah,
now.
because you've had time to let it marinate, and this is why people think that getting rich is just easy. No. You got to actually learn the shit that's being said, because if not, you will not understand what you now do. How bullish are you now?
Crazy. It's a liquid. Basically all Maxi is a liquid version of Hex that has a value from obviously the 1-to-1, but it has all that
yield,
max bonus yield with the Hedron.
Assuming they hit both targets on the max, they're gonna definitely hit the longer pays better bonus, but we don't know if they're gonna hit the bigger pays better,
and that's okay.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. It's only
just
10%.
like the 5x or the 4x Hedron bonus.
Right.
I think it's kind of irrelevant. You know, like people can say it's this much percentage, but whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter.
Crypto, if you win, you win.
Right.
Correct. It's like you're not gonna 0.05%, guys. That would have been crazy if we got that. It's gonna be like, no, you either got nuked because there's a war going on, or it's like, whatever.
Correct. It's not.
So we got Maxi coming up, guys. That's really, really Wales. Just let you know, loud and clear. I mean, if I don't know what else you want the man to say.
I know Bob the guy is so happy right now. He's been trying to spread the awareness of Maxi so hard. So this is like, yes.
You know what it is? If there's anything I've learned from this dip is that everybody did not learn from the free alpha that they got for the past year. So, you either figure it out or you don't. Good luck.
Yeah. That's why X is kind of nice to people because they can trade their time for being
money.
Shitty at learning a lesson.
That's right.
It's like, well, I sucked, but I stuck with it long enough. So
that's right. So all the plebs that have been selling their hex down, they're not even going to have the opportunity to mint any maxi whatsoever. Right. So that's
there's a lot of benefits in crypto if you own something.
I mean, I think the bigger issue is, Orga, that we have people in this community that don't understand what owning something of value is, and this is why you see them dumping it from 50 cents to 10 cents.
I was pacing in my kitchen last night while I was cooking, literally like thinking about that.
It's a real issue,
so rough.
Because where are they going to go? Rough. Where are they actually going to go?
That's what I'm kind of working on now. Is I know last time that we were on, we were both just like maybe even like putting a course together or something. So I'm gonna type up like because I've taught like everything from daycare to college courses.
Oh wow! Sorry for
I may as well. Yeah, right. Daycare was way better, bro.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Way smarter.
You're not joking, though. That's the fucked up
bro,
part.
I wish I was. I almost started crying.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna just put together like from kindergarten onward level of curriculum for general crypto knowledge, and it'll have to incorporate, macro level things like banking systems and finance. So, but even just putting together in fucking crayon, as much as it's to onboard like the next generation, that's some kid that accesses the internet and can learn something. It's also for the dude who's like 30 and thinks that he knows the internet and he's pumping Bitcoin bags. Right.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Well, that was me, right? 10 years ago, I thought I knew the internet and I didn't. That's why I'm not a Bitcoin billionaire now, because I really thought they were going to shut that shit down, but they cannot.
Right.
Simple as that. I mean, lesson learned, man. You know what I mean? Now I'm here.
That's the only thing I have against Bitcoin, man. Like, because I'm actually really pro Bitcoin. I can talk shit about it with the best of them, but I'm really pro Bitcoin, obviously. But my biggest bugaboo with it is just like how hard it would be to fork it in its current state. You'd be better off just like making Bitcoin with better code. So it's like if the worst were to happen and they could corrupt the players of Bitcoin, and they're like, well, we'll just fork it and invalidate those players. It's like, yeah, well, you gonna do it with the same spaghetti code, or
it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's like that's the only bugaboo I have with them.
But that's the whole issue, right? It's like you're here making these claims that aren't even true. That's all of them Bitcoin people do. They make a bunch of claims that aren't even true. Like, how are we? Where are we going with this?
I think you guys nailed it. I think they are probably being paid. There's probably
100%, bro. Look at this. Yo, who says outlandish statements that don't make no sense? Like, I don't care.
They were praying to God these kids weren't morons. They were praying to God these kids weren't morons. Probably gave them a couple $1,000, and like just was like, go at it with Richard, and then they ended up being the biggest morons ever.
No, it was insane. You can't sit here and tell me them people are not paid to be that dumb.
I was telling Wales the day after. I was like, dude, there's no way. And he was like, dude, there's no way they're that dumb. And I said, I know, me too. I know people enough to know that those grown ass men.
That's called throwing the. What is it called? Throwing the fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that people are that stubborn and that hip to technology, but that's what again, I don't really consider Bitcoin that hip to technology. So
But Orca, come on, man. Let's think about this rationally. Okay? Just hear me out. Here we are in 2021. We know Ethereum sucks. We know the gas fees are crazy. We know Bitcoin is slow. 10-minute transactions are considered great. And we see that, this is what the mainstream media is pumping for people. Ethereum, Bitcoin, meme coins, not true crypto, which we know exists, right? And Bitcoin never actually got there. And Ethereum is better than Bitcoin. And yet you have these persons that are literally telling us.
Yeah, that's too dirty not to be.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's too dirty. Too dirty.
But when you sit here and think about it like that, it's like, how could it not be? Right? Like, you hear me now? Like,
right. Then it would be like idiocracy on steroids.
Yes.
It's like you're not that.
I'm always calling people out too, because it's about what you don't say. It's all about what you do not speak out of your lips. You're not lying.
You're gonna say, I don't care about every fucking thing.
Yeah, but this is what they say.
Those
things don't exist.
What? Yo, I wish you guys could see me right now. I'm like losing my fucking mind over here. Like, that's not something you say and
punching the air.
You're gonna be taken seriously? Yo, GymRat, how much do you not care about your workout?
Yeah, it's just
that thing that you're committed to.
What? Yo, if I was in front of this dude, I would have slapped the skin off his face. Yo, that's gotta be the stupidest shit I've ever heard in a debate.
Yeah, it's just like talking to a crackhead on the street. You're kind of like, he's just going at it. Like, you can't say much to him. Just let him roll. Like, let him go. Like,
that's exactly right.
Some things they say, they'll spurt out a truth here and there, but they just wiggle around facts and they just ruin conversations.
They were not there to debate.
It was the most evil shit I ever heard. That dude, Alec, or whatever the fuck his name is, Svetsky, he said people should have to suffer their way to Bitcoin. He said that. He said, I think I would prefer people would suffer their way to finding Bitcoin. And I was like, you're an evil person, dude.
Save your friends and family, dude. They don't have to work until they're dead.
Piece of shit.
I heard that and I was just like, man, this guy is he's a piece of shit. So, and then that just speaks to like the the root of the
mentality.
money sourcing it, then yeah, it's like that evil is being transferred. So
I mean, that's the reality that we're battling. You know, and this
Right.
is why I hold no punches. I don't give a fuck about the rest of the promise coin space. They're irrelevant. They are
Right.
going to acquiesce to our power and might because we are fucking number one. Just because the rest of the clowns in this community don't want to act like it doesn't mean shit to me, because I am never going to partake in having conversations with Furus or putting any light on those bad actors in our space, because it is our space. Whether you want to realize it or not is your
You've been
problem.
saying this shit for a long time, brother.
Period. Not gonna change my tune today. Don't give a fuck
Since
who
the day
shows
I
up.
started watching your shit, you were
That's
like,
right.
I'm not entertaining that. If I know about it, I'm just gonna ignore it for the most part. And that's really the only way to it. It's like I tell all the guys too, I'm like, I'm just ignoring people. Like, it's not about your project sucks. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's like if there's no code and there's no white paper that Sam and I can read, like I can't talk about it.
Nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
Literally.
Like I
We
just
need code. We don't even need a white paper. Give us some code, because you know what? We can at least reference another piece of code to reference this, to cross-check this one. You know what I mean? But if you don't even give us that, then what are we even talking about?
And it's okay. It doesn't mean it's going to zero or anything, but
Doesn't mean anything.
I'll hold up on talking about it. That's
There's
all.
just nothing to talk about. Yeah, this is
right,
nothing
there's
to talk
nothing
about.
to talk about.
And this is what people have failed to understand. Like, yo, you have not heard me talk about a single thing that's not standing to our standards, because that's exactly how it has to happen.
Super high standards.
Yeah, what are we gonna change if we're just acquiescing to bullshit? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scary thing about this space, is that there's we're not speaking about the disruption so that they can acquire property, and that's the infiltration. I feel is there's just all of this like killing progress with noise, and people become complacent, and then you start chasing the X's. For me, it's way more than X's. You know, it's the value of actual. I hate even saying money because it's just so tied to fiat. It's the value of my fucking time and efforts. Is what I want to own. So for me, it's just so much disheartening. That's why I'm trying to work on whatever I can to just be an extra voice of like, well, if anyone stumbles onto this, it'll be good information, because we're fighting an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, and this is why I've been trying to highlight the fact that we don't own the funnels of information that this world relies on. We just don't. So until that changes, there's not much we can do except continue our grassroots fighting, because that's what we're relegated to doing. We have no choice. But what other choice do we have? You know, we really don't have none. So that's just what we have to continue to do. We have to continue to spread truthful information, not false information. Yeah. So, you know, it's important. It's important that we have these conversations from time to time. It is.
Definitely. Yeah, I just think of the waves of people that they think in their minds, they're like, I'm getting into crypto. But it's like, dude, think of their mentor. Probably someone who knows nothing about crypto, but knows enough to be able to put a debit card into a Coinbase account. So it's like there's so many layers and barriers that people will not naturally find. So I'm always trying to support people that are punching upward and trying to make noise for the right reasons.
I think it's possible, you know. I think we can do it. I think this community is 1 in a million. So I think we'll be able to do it long term, and even in the worst of circumstances, probably survive. Worst case scenario, you know, like no matter what, like Cardano survived a 99% dip. Shit, fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there's other reasons that you can look. When you start to look at things in U.S. dollar terms, though, you can start to paint pictures that don't really represent the relationship with money.
I think that's a good place to go, guys. I think our intentions are clear for this channel. Like, it's just learning, teaching, open-minded, community-driven. I don't need anyone to pay me. What do I fucking need? I don't need shit. I don't need shit. I tell everyone I really do not need shit for a while. Yeah, in the future we'll talk about it. I'll look into that shit later. Right now it's like Pulse Chain's coming out. Like, I got to learn this shit. It's like like there's no bigger opportunity in this world. I'll hide in this freaking room forever until I have the information that I need in order to be successful long term, because I can't trust what's going on out yonder. I think that's a great place to stop, guys. Thank you so much for coming in like always and just dropping bombs.
Pleasure,
Everyone in here,
Thanks for having us.
hit the subscribe, hit the like. Any closing words, guys? You want to say anything?
Just
Love the show. Love the effort, man. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. And to everybody out there, stay aware. And if you're not aware, get aware.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Awareness. It seems to be scarce these days, but that's why we're coming in hot, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, bye, bye.
Sounds good, brother.